online and on DAB.
Talk Radio. For those about to talk, we salute you. Talk Radio.
Some of you will have heard the David Icke interview because we streamed it live on Periscope. You really should be watching me on Periscope, guys, because that's where the action is. We're going to play the David Icke interview out after 11 at some point. I thought he was an absolutely delightful gentleman. In the meantime, give us a call. This is Talk Radio. This is the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm a little bit worse for wear, got a little bit more grey hair. I'm not gonna be the next big thing, but I'm getting fitted for a new brass ring. I've been dumped, I've been kicked around, now I'm ready for the big rebound. I know you can't win them all, but I'm swinging like Pitt, getting hits in Moneyball. Get back up, you gotta get back up. You got a whole stadium in their feet. It's not about a victory or a defeat. See, you gotta get back up. You gotta get back up. Not everything is sink or swim. You can't fly if the air's too thin. Best part of the ride is the free fall. Better keep your arms and legs in the vehicle. Standing 8 and I'm on the ropes. Knees giving but I won't lose hope. Not the second coming of Muhammad Ali, but can I get a whoop for the boxing imagery? Get back up. You gotta get back up. You got a whole stadium on their feet. It's not about a victory or a defeat. See, you gotta get back up. You gotta get back up. Gotta get back, gotta get back. 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 Get back up. You gotta get back up. You got a whole stadium on their feet. It's not about a victory or a defeat. See, you gotta get back up. You gotta get back up. When everybody's up on their feet, it's not about a victory or a defeat. See, you gotta get back up. You gotta get back up. Gotta get back, gotta get back. 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 Gotta get back, gotta get back.
What government cover-up? What government cover-up? Clement Freud was a paedophile! I saw him being stopped at an airport because he had nail scissors. From that day on, I knew there was something suspicious about the man. He was trying to carry nail scissors onto an aeroplane, and he was stopped from doing it. Clement Freud was a paedophile. Flippin' heck! He was always on, Just a Minute. No hesitation, no deviation. Well, certainly some kind of deviation. Deviation away from the sexual norm. And plenty of repetition. Here's the other thing. He had a villa near to where Maddie McCann went disappear. Oh, now Catherine's pulling a face. No. But, for a second, indulge me. He had a villa near where Madeleine McCann went missing, right? Who did, the government send to, investigate the McCanns? One of their top advisors. Why would the government send one of their top advisors? Don't you think? No, I'm not one of those people that think that in any way the McCanns had anything to do with the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Of course not. I don't think that. I know a lot of you do. I think that's mean-spirited. The government sent Clarence Mitchell from the Cabinet Office to look after the McCanns. Don't you just think Don't you just think? The thing is, it turns out, right, and I'm not for a second suggesting the McCanns are in any way involved at all. I don't buy into that theory. But anything is possible now. Anything is possible. Clement Freud was a paedophile. Flippin' heck! What the hell is going on with this world? I don't understand what is going on with the world anymore. Isn't it just the weirdest place? So hang on a second. We've had all these people dying this year, right? We've had that horrible massacre in Orlando. We've had the football violence. Clement Freud is a What the hell is going on? You got Nigel Farage and Bob Geldof shouting at each other on boats today. Seriously, I slept in really late, right? I woke up at 1 o'clock. I turned on my Twitter, and I thought there was some kind of spoofington going on. There are all these tweets about Farage and a flotilla of boats. I thought, flippin' heck, Chris Morris is writing tweets now. And then there was tweets about Bob Geldof shouting abuse at Farage. And I'm thinking, what? This is not... And so then I went to the news thing. It was real. It was actually real. And then I saw a tweet about Clement Freud being a paedophile. I thought, oh, that's a bit below the belt. That's a bit tasteless. Then I was listening to LBC for a bit. And Sheila Fogarty's doing a phone-in about Clement Freud being a paedophile. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on with the world? I honestly don't know what's going on. We had David Icke earlier on, and actually the two things aren't connected, although we do touch upon the Clement Freud story briefly. And some of you will have heard I was going to say Eric Idle. Why am I going to say Eric Idle? David Icke. Some of you will have heard the interview with David Icke, because we streamed it on Periscope. You should be watching me on Periscope, guys. Follow me and you'll find out when these things are happening. But we're going to play it out just after about 11:15, something like that. It's a really good interview. I'm really pleased with it because it's not. We don't mention lizards. I don't get him in and take the mickey out of him, which is what I think some of you were hoping I was going to do. He's going to tear him a new one. I didn't do that because I didn't want to do that. I thought that would have been mean-spirited. Instead, do you know what I did? I apologised for laughing at him when he was on Wogan in 1991. It's the 25th anniversary of that. Last couple of weeks ago, apparently, he was telling me. The 25th anniversary. And I watched it and I laughed and I paid money to go and see him at a speaking tour and laugh. And we all had stickers saying David Icke is off his bike. We did. And I apologised to him for laughing at him when he was on Wogan. He said, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And it's the first time I've heard him speak in depth about the effect that going on Wogan and being laughed at by the entire country. The first time I've heard him speak about it. I watched the interview today. What's interesting, right? Again, we touch on this. It was 16 minutes long. I don't remember it being that long, right? 16 minutes long, the whole thing. I watched all of it. It's really interesting, right? And it's really interesting to note that Wogan, what time was Wogan on? 7:30, 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday and Friday? I went to see an episode of Wogan being filmed, the one with Paul McCartney. Yes! Oh, I went to see that being filmed, me and my sister. I couldn't have been very old, and my dad just took us there and left us there. That was weird. Anyway. So 8 o'clock, I think it was 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. A 16-minute interview. That's a long old time on a light entertainment show. You don't get interviews like that anymore on telly. It's given me a plan, actually. Watching the David Icke interviews, given me a plan. You're going to start seeing interviews like that. Maybe not on the telly, on the internet. Got a plan. Me and my mate Robin, when he gets back from his trip, got a plan. He doesn't know I've got a plan, but I've got a plan, Robin. So we're going to play that later on. Tonight's show is, what can I do? The phones are open. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Anything is up for grabs. Anything and everything is up for grabs this evening, right? The world has gone so nuts, so insane, so completely bonkers, right? There's no point in me sitting here. I've got a list of stuff that I was going to talk about. What's the point, really? Because this is what I've written down. Costa, shopping centres, DVDs, and then some bits from the papers. Lazy People, Fox, Trains, Donut Cushion, and Wife Shopping. We've got stuff like that, right? And I'll do those things later on in the show. But I feel like kind of a fraud sitting here when the world has gone so nuts, so insane, right, in the past 4 days, week, month, year. Since the beginning of this year, what month are we in? June. The last 6 months, the world has gone nuts, right? And so me sitting here going, well, isn't it interesting how I find myself using Costa as my local office because it's got excellent Wi-Fi, it's got toilet, and it's got coffee facilities. What more? I probably will talk about that later on. You can call in about that, 0844 499 1000. But it just feels, I feel fraudulent sitting here saying those things. Because, you know, it's true. But the world is nuts. Another thing, Kath, can you stop looking at me, please? Please. Just stop looking at me, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't...
It's really putting me off, just you staring at me like that.
I wouldn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable.
Sorry?
Doesn't matter.
That guy's an arse! What's his name? Is it Peter Green? Not Peter Green, he was in Fleetwood Mac. Sir Peter Green. He was still in Fleetwood Mac. Peter McVeigh. Peter McPhillips, Lindsay Buckingham, Lord Lindsay Buckingham, who owned British Home Stores, right? What was his name? Sir Peter Greenaway. No, he wrote music for Fleetwood Mac. Sir Philip Green. I did not expect him to sound like that. Sir Philip Green, I expected Sir Philip Green to be like that. And instead he's going, could you stop looking at me, please? What? He's being questioned by a panel in a semicircle. Could you stop looking at me? What? Putting me off. Where do you want me to look? You arrogant, smug get. All of those people, right? Peter Green from British Home Stores, the JD Sports fella, and there was another one last week. All dodge parts, weren't they all? Well, it was nothing to do with me, Gov. Peter Green, and I know that's not his name, but he is from now on. So Peter Green from British Home Stores, right? All this money's gone missing from the pension. All these employees, right, former employees have now lost their jobs. All this money's gone missing from their pension. Did you know anything about it? No. Sorry? No. Some shops, actual British Home Store shops, were sold to his wife. Right? Any tax paid on that? No. Why not? We were living in Monaco. Sorry? So you sold shops to your wife, and she was living in Monaco. It was good for my health. It's good for my health. Have you been to Monaco? It is not good for anybody's health. I've been there once. It was horrible. It's a horrible place. It's tiny. Really tiny roads. It's horrible. Didn't like it. I was there for a day. I was being paid to go there. You have to go in by helicopter. That's not good for anybody's health. It's horrendous, right? So all this money that's gone missing from the pensions. What can you tell us about that, Sir Philip Green? Nothing to do with me. You were the boss! What did you do? And this is one of the things that, what did you do then while you were there? Well, I managed to save £400,000 by changing the coat hanger supplier. Did you hear that? He said that! I managed to save 400 grand by switching coat hanger supplier. What? But where's all the money from the pensions gone? 0844 499 1000. And then you get people like David Icke, and you start to think he's not talking as much nonsense as we all think he is. We don't talk about his theories so much. Although if you watch that Wogan clip, the Wogan show, a lot of what he says in it is not nuts. A lot of what he says actually makes sense. Apart from the bit where he said Saddam Hussein was dead in 1991. All that to one side, the show can be about all of those things or none of those things. I'm saying it just because it feels fraudulent for me to sit here with this list of stuff that I'm showing to the camera that I've brought with me. Just feels fraudulent. When you got Sir Peter Green getting arsey because he's lost a load of pension money. Wasn't me. Could you stop looking at me, please? What? You Cockney barra boy, you shouldn't be running you shouldn't be running British Home Stores. He sold it for £1. So we can talk about those things, or we can talk about anything you want, guys. anything you want. Tonight is going to be one of them shows. If you're watching, if you're listening, now is an excellent time to call in 0844 499 1000. We call you back. Here's today's quiz question, guys. Genuine quiz question. Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney to you, scumbag, is topical for two reasons today. Two reasons that Sir Paul McCartney is topical. Can you tell me what those two reasons are? Two big reasons. Two very, very big reasons. Don't Google it. That's cheating. And also one of them might not come up. 0844 499 1000. Andres.
Hello.
Hello. Hip, hip, hip. What you got for us?
Hip, 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 indeed. Yeah, it's a funny thing about BHS. It's not the reason why I called, but it's similar to what happened to what's Phone for You or something like that.
For what?
Phones. What's the phone company that went into administration not too long ago?
Was it Phones for You? Did they go bust?
Yeah.
Because the annoying adverts. So. It's because the annoying adverts were that smug American.
Probably, yeah. I don't know what happened to the pensioners there. But,
well, you know, the world has gone nuts. And you know what, guys? Here's my prediction. It might not be the next, right? But Marks and Spencer's will go bust. That's definitely going to happen. Marks and Spencer will go bust. How the hell is W.H. Smith still operating? Have you been in there? I go in there to buy, to look at the music magazines and maybe buy one if I've written an article for one of them. And I go in there to buy comics for the kids. But that's it, right? What the hell is what is W.H. Smith's for, Andres?
To be honest, the only time I've had to be to one of them is just because there was a post office inside.
WTF?
Yes, yeah.
Post office inside. They're always, there's a Twitter feed, and I can never remember the name, but there's a very funny Twitter feed, which is, all it does is post pictures of the floors of W.H. Smith's, right? They are filthy. Go into a Smith's, right, and have a look at the floors. They are filthy, man. And also, it's just them. First of all, they keep moving all the magazines around. But what is it? Has anyone ever been to the back of a W.H. Smith's? What the hell is at the back?
It's talking about bookshops. The other one is Waterstones. That's the other one. How did those shops survive?
I went into Waterstones today in Uxbridge, right? Because we have a young gentleman called Waterstones Uxbridge who follows me on Twitter and messages me quite a lot, right? And I went and saw my friend Scott. We went and sat, of course. Here's the thing. There was a giant deck chair, right? A really big deck chair outside the shopping centre in Uxbridge, right? And I said to my mate Scott, are we allowed to sit in that? He went, yeah, of course. I said, well, let's sit in it and let's get someone to take a picture. And these two lads will come in. I said, excuse me, lads. Called them lads. I said, excuse me, lads. Could you take a picture of me and my mate sat in that giant deck chair? And he went, yeah, all right. And do you know what he did, Andres?
What?
He got his phone out to take the picture on his phone. I said, no. Could you do it on my phone, please? What a weird thing. Imagine going, in fact, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to go up to people and say, could you take a picture of me? And they go, yeah. I go on then, get your phone out. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, we went into Waterstones Uxbridge to see Waterstones Uxbridge, and he wasn't there.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Good. It's interesting, one of those counterintuitive things, but it's a funny one.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was going to say as well that, to be honest, you mentioned Peter Green and the other guy that gave money to his wife. If you think about it, it's not really that different to a lot of politicians. I can't really speak for politicians in the UK.
Oh, you mean Sir Peter Green? Sir Peter Green, when he sold some British Home Store shops to his wife, who lived in Monaco.
Exactly, and a lot of politicians do that. As in, they put their wives, be their personal assistants and things like that.
I don't have a problem with members of Parliament giving jobs to their wives, such as personal assistant. I don't have a problem with that because,
non-qualified wives.
Well, what qualification do you need to be a personal assistant?
Supposed to be someone's wife.
No, but honestly, I don't have a problem with that because who better to know what your diary is and what you're up to than your partner, the person that you live with. And if they haven't got a job and they're capable of arranging interviews and meetings and fulfilling your diary then why not? Why wouldn't you do that? I don't have a problem with that.
That's a fair point, I suppose.
It's good, isn't it? It's a good one, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good reason. I thought it that way, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in that case, Andrus, you can give your wife a job.
Well, I'd like to.
I'd love a personal assistant. You know, you can also, if I had a person, I remember if I had a personal assistant, you could say, can you make sure that my shirts are sent to the dry cleaners? And then you'd have all your shirts pressed, and they'd come back nice and pressed with the plastic over the top and all of that stuff. That's what I get a personal assistant for.
Yeah, but you know how that feels. You mentioned about what's wrong with this world. It would make me feel wrong. Me needing a personal assistant, I mean, having someone that I can command, it somehow feels wrong.
Oh, I'd love it. I would love it. I want someone I can command. All I've got is Kath, and she is tetchy. She's tetchy at the best of times. I want someone I can command. I command you to make sure all of my shirts are pressed for tomorrow.
It should be like free, you know. If they want to help you, they'll be
shut up, man. Well, you some kind of hippie. I tell you what. Why don't you go and smoke a bit more reefer, and go and make free love to someone in a field? Are you nuts? We should all be free. Get out of here, man. No, I want to employ someone.
Yeah, for certain dignity at work.
For certain dignity at work. You've got it. That's my motto, Andrus. Thank you, Iain Lee. For certain dignity at work. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you give us a call. Boyley, coming in. What's your beef? You're starting to get on my nerves tonight. It's all this staring at me. And I'm watching you too, Id. I'm watching you. What's your beef?
Oh, nothing. I just saw how much you enjoyed telling me to get a car for our guest earlier on and all that.
Yeah.
You've been loving it.
I did. I
couldn't tell you to do one in front of them.
No, well, I was throwing my weight, my incredibly increasing weight around at you, and
I felt like Miss Moneypenny.
I don't have a problem. Try that, Mike, because it's gone all it's gone all cack again. That was better. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with MPs giving jobs to their partners and their wives and their family. Hey, guys, you know nepotism? It's a good thing, isn't it, nepotism?
It means that he's accessible.
Yeah.
Also, he's looked after. You know, they work long hours, and I would rather, if I was the MP's wife, I'd rather I was seen to him rather than someone else.
If when my boys are older, if they choose to work in this industry, even if they don't choose to work in this industry, if I can pull any strings or call in any favours to get them work experience or a job somewhere, then I'm going to do it, aren't I?
Still the way things work in every industry, isn't it?
I don't see a problem. It's jealousy. It's jealousy. I didn't get into my dad worked in TV, but not in any way to do with in front of the camera. He was kind of behind the camera. And I rejected any help that he offered me.
Mm-hmm.
I got this career through hard work and pure luck. A lot of it was luck, right? And I kind of turned my back on him for quite a long time. But if my boys want to work in the radio, and if I can help them, of course I will.
Well, my dad was a journalist, and his help was to tell me not to become a journalist because there was no money in it. And then when he realised I was determined to do it and I could write, he said, don't become a newspaper journalist because there's no money in it.
Yep.
And he thought that maybe there was more money in broadcasting. There wasn't. But he could help me out with certain things in journalism. I got some work experience. But if you're rubbish, the door's shut behind you just as fast as it's opened.
Yeah.
So, I think everyone would do that for their kids.
0844 499 1000 out.
Oh, really?
Out.
I've got something to show you.
Is it a nice cup of tea? Is that okay? Alan Caddick.
Hip, hip, hip.
Oh.
Hip, hip, hip.
Caller number 2.
Ooh. Ouch.
I blame Kath this time.
Why do you blame Kath this time?
Because she put me on hold at 10 o'clock, and I would be first caller, but then you went on a rant about Philip Green.
Yeah, so Philip Green from Fleetwood Mac and British Home Stores, yes.
This is the man who sold VHS for £1.
I'd have bought it for £1. Where does he advertise it? Like Gumtree or something? Because I would pay £1 for British Home Stores. I would pay £1 for British Home Stores, and then what I'd do is I'd go into the branch in Slough, I'd go downstairs to the lighting department.
Doorbells.
I'd ring all of the doorbells at once, and when an assistant came to tell me to stop it, as they did when I was a little boy, I would give them the one-finger salute, and I would go and pick up a big broom, and I would smash all of the lights up. Security would come to get me, and I'd say, "Get your hands off me!" They'd say, "You are a yob and a lout, and we are going to throw you from this store." And I'd say, "Don't you dare, because I own it." And they'll say, "No, you don't. You're not Sir Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac." And then I pull out of my pocket a crumpled receipt that will say, "Bought British Home Stores, cost £1, signed Sir Peter Green, brackets of Fleetwood Mac." I'd wave that in their faces. They would have to unhand me, and then I would get them to apologise to me, and then I would go and burn all the clothes. That's what I would have done.
And get the security guards fired.
And get the security guards fired. And then after I'd done that, I'd go and check what was going on with the pensions, make sure they were okay. But that's pretty much what day one would have looked like had I bought British Home Stores for £1.
But really, he messed it up.
Man, they messed it up. Those guys messed it up. What a surprise. The big businessmen at the top of the chain don't give a stuff about the workers that work for them. What a surprise!
It's just like the unions, when the unions went on strike.
Well?
Which is a throwback to the 70s again.
Yes.
Remind me of that song when they're singing "You're Glad to Be Gay."
Yeah. Are you glad to be gay, Alan?
I'm not gay because I've got a gay brother, but I've been singing that song all week.
It's a good song, isn't it? It makes me...
Play a bit of it?
It's
really cheering up.
The world needs... Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Tom Robinson. Let me find Tom Robinson. Isn't it sad that that this song is relevant 35 years later, that we're still... Here we go. Let's just skip forward a bit. Hang on.
Police are the best in the world.
You going to join in with the chorus, Alan?
Yeah.
All right, hang on a second. Let's get... Russ, you going to join in on the chorus with us? Russ?
Hello.
You going to join in on the chorus with us?
I don't know the words.
You'll know the words, buddy. Here we go.
Them down,
Here we go.
arrest as they're kicked on the ground, searching their houses.
You ready, Alan?
Ready.
You feeling it?
Ready.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Sort of thing happens.
Here we go, Russ. Come on, you'll get it soon. Join in with me and Alan. Sing if you're glad to be gay.
Sing your happiness way.
Sing if you're glad to be gay. Sing if you're happy that way. Yeah. Go on, guys. You sing solo. Acapulco. Go on.
Violence in the streets, we're going wrong. We're not going home, we're not going down. We need some help, really hard to hold. We need some love in this messed up world. We're looking at them, but it's hard to be found. We're England, we're loud and we're proud. But what's to play, we're not so sure. We're gonna score one more goal. Singing, we're glad to be gay. Singing, we're happy this way. Hi, singing, you're glad to be gay. Singing, you're happy this way.
I'll have that chorus, please. Oh, Alan, Caddick, thank you, buddy. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm happy now.
It's a good song, isn't it? It's a good song.
I wonder if I can get it on iTunes.
Yeah, you can. I got it. That's where I got it from. 99p.
Or Spotify.
Probably. Probably. Alan, did we get to the point of your call?
I think we just did.
Thank you very much indeed. Ross, stay there. Jonathan, stay there. 0844 499 1000. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. We will call you back. Russ is on the line. Evening, Russ.
Good evening. Where's my theme tune?
It's disappeared, I'm afraid. It only lasted for a month, I'm afraid, and it's expired. If you want the theme tune, you have to apply for a new license. The laws have changed, Russell. The laws have changed.
Oh.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Good.
I know these things happen. It happens to all of us. Trust me. What you got for us, Russ?
Couple of things. First of all, you're on about a personal assistant.
Yes.
A PA. I think you need personal protection.
Oh, is that a threat?
No, it's not a threat. I'm saying
I feel threatened, so it must be a threat.
If you need You never know in your job with your
Again, let's get very
controversial.
Very threatening, Russell. Very threatening tone tonight. What's gotten into you? You never know if you'll need it with your controversial tone.
Well, you never know. If you need personal protection, close protection, you call cyber security services.
Why are you threatening me? What have I done what have I ever done to you? What have I ever done to you?
No, you never know in the future. If you need some security, you know who to call.
Here's the thing, Russ. Can you record this, please, Catherine, and put it in the death box, right? When I'm murdered and you're standing in the dock, right, and the prosecution plays this clip to you, Russ, you're going to curse the day you said it. Curse the day you said it. Russ? Russ? What the hell happened there? Russ bottled it. He bottled it. Jonathan's in Swansea. Evening, Jonathan.
Evening.
Hello, boss. What you got?
Social media censorship.
Here we go. Yes, I'm in. I love it. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, what a funny world we live in. When the Breitbart reporter, Milo Yiannopoulos, gets banned from Twitter because he retweets all the death threats he's got from knuckle-dragging savages who want to behead him for being gay.
Yes.
But it's all right for left-wing Americans to create Kill Donald Trump accounts and tweet about how they're going to kill Donald Trump because he's literally Hitler.
Who? I don't know I don't know the first gentleman you spoke about. Tell me about that.
Well, he was apparently banned today for a short time because he retweeted a collage of tweets he had received from Muslims threatening to behead him for being gay because he wanted to do a talk in Orlando in spite of what happened on Saturday.
Yeah. What's the guy's name?
And he gets banned, but the people who want to kill Donald Trump, that's okay.
Hang on. What's the fella's name?
Milo Yiannopoulos. He tweets under the hashtag, not the hashtag, it's the @sign, @Nero.
Okay. Let's have a little look. He's suspended from Twitter. Let's see. Let's say, okay. Well, if he has received, the controversial conservative flamethrower, he is an SH1T stirrer, this gentleman, though, isn't he?
Not as big as the ones who target him.
We're not playing top trumps, right? I'm aware of this gentleman vaguely. He does like to stir it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, and so do his critics.
Right, but he does. Now, has he actually been, here's the thing. It doesn't, I'm reading an article about him, I'm literally just Googling him. I do remember I've looked at this gentleman before. We don't know why he's been booted off Twitter. As he said, it's because he's retweeted those things. Because it won't be.
Yeah.
It won't be.
He has been under constant attack from the social justice mob that controls Twitter and Facebook and Google.
Yeah, but he won't have been banned. Google. He won't have been banned from Twitter for retweeting what other people have said to him.
Well, let's play devil's advocate. If you're right, how come he's banned for something relatively trivial, yet Twitter,
we don't know why he's
Facebook and YouTube think it's perfectly acceptable to promote the assassination of Donald Trump, to murder his supporters, to brand people like me fascists, because we want to protect your kids from savages who worship a 7th century Jimmy Savile.
Right. He did.
I'm not having a go at you.
No.
I'm not having a go at you.
No. I mean, the one tweet I can see here from Milo is "F you Islam."
I agree with that sentiment.
Well, yeah, but it's but you didn't mention that he tweeted "F you Islam."
I don't obsessively stalk his Twitter.
Okay, but the point that we're trying to establish is why was he kicked off Twitter, and you've come up because it was he won't have been booted off because he retweeted the abuse that he was sent to him, and yet the first thing I find is F you Islam.
Yeah, because what we've learned from the weekend is that in the progressive of the oppression Olympics, gays rank lower than Muslims. Right. But if you criticise Islam, you're a fascist, even though Islam has more in common with fascism than anything since 1945.
Right, okay. You're not called a fascist if you criticise Islam.
Oh, you are. Believe me, I've been called it several times.
I've been called all kinds of things, but I've criticised Islam. I'm not a fascist.
No, you're not.
No.
You're a good radio presenter.
Well, and you're a good caller.
I'd like to think so.
Well, yeah. But you are allowed to criticise Islam.
Not anymore. According to Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, George Soros. You can't do that anymore. It's a hate crime. You're a racist.
No,
you're
a
Nazi.
No, you're not. You're not, though. You want to be perceived as that, Jonathan.
No, we don't.
But you're not.
We don't.
You're not.
We really don't.
You're not.
We want to be perceived as normal people, but we're surrounded by idiots who have been brainwashed with cultural Marxism.
Right. But you haven't, because you can come on this show and you can criticise Islam, you can criticise Christianity, you can criticise all forms of belief.
I'm an equal opportunities offender. You're perfectly welcome to come on my Twitter feed, Women Obey UKIP, and abuse me.
What? Hang on a minute.
Don't tell me that I'm worse than some self-hating homosexual Muslim who murdered 49 people.
No, but I don't think anybody is saying that you are worse than that dodgepot who committed that atrocity in Orlando.
They're making all sorts of apologies, and instead of focusing on the elephant in the room, Islam, about there are too many guns in America.
Yeah, well, there are.
No, we need guns to protect ourselves from the nutters.
Yeah, because you know that doesn't work. If we had more guns, these massacres wouldn't happen. It's nonsense.
We might have had less fatalities on Saturday.
No. Well, how come this only really happens in America?
Gun crime happens everywhere.
No.
Guns doesn't stop the crime. Criminals do not respect gun laws.
When was the last time we had a massacre in this country?
We had two. We had that taxi driver and Raoul Moat, both in 2011.
Right.
And we're having various unreported black-on-black gunnings in London and other inner cities. But you can't mention that because you're racist.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You want to be perceived as a racist, but you're
not.
No,
we don't. We want to be perceived as
I said,
people
when was the last time?
In an insane world.
When was the last time we had a massacre? I mean, how many people did the taxi driver shoot? 3 or
15
4?
or something.
How many did he kill?
12.
Okay. How many did Ralph Moat kill?
About 5 or so.
Okay, all right. And when was that? 2011.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
both of them.
That's 5 years ago. When was the last massacre before that in this country?
Dunblane.
Right. And when was that?
In 96.
Well, you've just proved my point, Jonathan.
No, criminals do not respect gun laws.
But we're talking about massacres. When was the last massacre in America before this one? Not that long ago.
I've lost count.
Yeah, exactly, because they have unregulated gun laws.
That's not because there are too many guns. It's because the wrong sorts of people are getting their hands on guns. Right. There's a certain demographic of people.
Go on.
We belong to that can handle our guns responsibly. But unfortunately, because we are egalitarian and want to treat others like we wish to treat ourselves, we also allow other people who don't share our values to buy guns and then gun themselves and us down.
You mean Muslims? You mean Muslims?
Not just Muslims. I'm talking about La Raza. I'm talking about the Trayvon Martins and the what's his name, Michael Brown. The Black Lives Matter, racist, supremacist thugs, people like the African People's Socialist Party,
so hang on a minute.
and Ghazi Kodza.
Right, okay, so you're saying... I'm just trying to stumble my way around what you're saying. Are you saying, Jonathan, that we should only give guns to white people?
At the moment, based on the evidence, yes. Not because I'm a racist, but because I look at the demographic.
That is a bit racist. That is by definition is a bit racist, saying we shouldn't give...
I don't care anymore.
No.
I don't care anymore.
No.
I'm just sick and tired of...
No, I'm sorry.
That
I know
word has been so devalued.
Well, I'm
really... no longer an insult.
Well, no, but I'm not saying it's an insult. I'm saying it's a statement. You're saying that you're not a racist, but then you did just say something that I would perceive, and I think many people would interpret as being racist. We can't trust black people and Muslims, brown Muslims.
Look at anyone can be a Muslim.
Yeah.
Anyone. I could decide to become a Muslim tomorrow and start killing people.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah, white guy.
Yeah.
Bad. That was bad.
The guy who thought he was the Batman in the cinema.
Yeah, he was insane.
He was white.
Yeah.
Right.
And insane.
And your point's kind of veering all over the place. Let's go back to the fella last week, right, in Orlando. You see it as a Muslim, as an attack from because he was Muslim, yeah?
It was an attack by someone who subscribed to extremist Wahhabi Islam.
Right. No. He was very confused, mentally ill, homosexual, yeah?
He was, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Islam's a mental illness.
What
Muhammad did to a 9-year-old girl.
No. Islam is not a mental illness. It's a religion, right? One that I don't subscribe to. I don't subscribe to any religion. It's not.
You're an atheist, so you think all religions are mentally ill.
No.
Come on, be fair.
No, I'm not. I'm not an atheist. I think I'm an agnostic.
Fair enough. I'm not here to criticise your religious beliefs.
How old was Mary then?
She was probably in her teens.
She was 10.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I'm not a Catholic scholar. I'll have to ask the
Have a word.
Catholic theologian I know about.
Have a word, because Mary was 10. Anyway, right. From what I have read about the chap that did the murder last week, right? He wasn't a member of ISIS. He was just kind of like an ISIS fanboy.
Yeah, he was inspired, he was inspired by al-Nusra.
But it's like someone tweeted this, and I can't remember who it was, but it's like someone wearing a Cure T-shirt killing people, and then saying, "Oh, it was because he was a member of the Cure." Do you know what I mean? Or the Beatles, wearing a Beatles T-shirt.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
He was a fanboy. He was a fanboy. He was mentally ill and was angry he was angry and upset and bitter and ashamed or whatever about being gay.
There were other things other than being gay that made him go cuckoo. There are millions of people who are like that and don't go around killing people.
Can I ask, how come you know so much about Islam, but yet you don't know anything about Christianity?
I do know about Christianity.
Okay.
I do know about the terrible things that we've done.
Well, no, it's just that you talk about Muhammad and a 9-year-old, but you didn't know about Mary being 10.
Well, I don't recall the verse where it explicitly stated that Mary was a 10-year-old.
No.
But I do know I've got 2 copies of the Quran. I've been to Saudi Arabia, and I almost died in Saudi Arabia. Some nut job belonging to Osama bin Laden decided to blow up the American army base. So I have a pretty good first-hand view of Islam. And this was well before 9/11 and all that. And I tried for 20 years to give Islam the benefit of the doubt. Not all Muslims. Don't tar them all with the same brush.
But they're not.
But to the point where I discovered I'd become another Neville Chamberlain.
No, but you can't. You can't, Jonathan, tar them all with the same brush. It's like the violence that's going on in France, right? From the English football hooligans, right? Do we tar all English people with that brush? Do we tar all white people with that brush? Do we tar all middle-aged men with that brush? No, of course we don't.
I see what you're getting at, but I'm also looking at the data. And from what I've done extensive research.
But the data of football hooligans in France in this tournament they're predominantly white men from either Russia or England, right? But does that mean all Russian white men no, of course not. All English white men are football? No, of course not. It's a tiny, tiny minority.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but
yeah.
There's Takia and Kitman, lying and concealment. How many talking heads do we have in this country that pay lip service to things like equality and diversity and tolerance, but are actually secretly in agreement with these people? Well, and the only time they're inconvenienced by the likes of Anjem Choudhury is when Choudhury, to give him credit, is actually upfront and honest about what he and his fellow Muslims want to do.
Oh, he's an SH1T stirrer, Mr. Choudhury.
Oh, I would like to do things to him that are not legal to mention on the radio.
You want to, what do you want to do? Make love to him? Why don't you and Anjem Choudhury make love to each other, and then the world would be a nicer place, Jonathan, wouldn't it?
He might get stoned afterwards.
Hey, get stoned before, it makes it even more pleasurable. Jonathan, thank you very much indeed. I'm joking, of course. 0844 499 1000. We're back. We're doing late night radio, guys. This is late night radio, and this is the beauty of this show. If you've just tuned in for the first time, this show has no agenda. It has no real kind of, it's about nothing. It's about everything, and it's about nothing. And that was a perfect example of that. You know, Jonathan's anyone's welcome to come on and criticise any religion. And fair play to Jonathan, he took my challenges, as challenges, which is what I'm going to do. If you come on and say stuff, I'm going to challenge you. I'm not like some other late night radio hosts who have a similar name to me, who are just taking the dollar and let you go on and make your points and then go, thanks, great call. Who's next? You know, I'm not going to do that. There's no point in me doing that. Might as well get a robot in. That was a great line, though. I'm not a racist, but I want to ban black people and Muslims from having guns. You come on and criticise this. When I got in trouble at the BBC for arguing with a couple of Christians, calling them bigots, I had loads of people, including John Gaunt. Hey, you wouldn't say that to Muslims! I could easily have replied saying, I already have, and sent them the clip. Do you remember, Catherine, we were talking about Muslim primary school, and they had they found Ofsted, is it Ofsted? Found loads of books in the library basically saying that homosexuals should be stoned to death in a primary school. And we had one of the governors, I think, from the school on. And I did pretty much exactly what I did to the Christians, I said to him. And this was like 6 months, a year before. No one picked up on it. So I tore him another one. I said that he was a bigot and that stuff should not be anywhere near children, let alone primary school children, and that stuff was bigoted. So I have said the same thing to Muslims. I will, if I think something's wrong, if I think something is unpleasant and nasty and bigoted, whatever religion or lack thereof, I'll pick up on it. Is it agnostic when you think that there might be something, but you're not sure? Yeah, I'm more agnostic than atheist. But, you know, thank you, Jonathan. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. As I said at the start of the show, the world has gone nuts, hasn't it? With all the stuff that's going on abroad with Orlando and, I mean, the whole, the argument that, anyway, the point I was making is the show has no agenda and we don't always deal with issues. Jonathan's called in with that. He wanted to say that. Absolutely fine to say that. You can phone in and talk about anything that you want. Ridiculous, trivial, heavy, whatever, man. It's all cool. Okay. You will not get turned away on this show because you're not addressing the one question we're asking this hour, which a lot of other shows do. No. There is no one question. Can I bring you back to the question? There is no question. The question is, what do you want to talk about? 0844 499 1000. But the argument that having more guns in America would stop gun crime is nuts. Okay, you could argue, had someone else had a gun in that nightclub, they could have taken the fella out. But, guns in nightclubs? Really? Is that what you want? 'Cause sometimes it can turn a little bit tasty in a nightclub. We've all been in a boozer or a club where one bloke has gone psycho. Would you want him with a gun at the bar? You just spilt my pint. You're staring at my boyfriend. I've had that. What are you staring at my girlfriend for? I go into 1,000-yard stare sometimes. And you staring, what? We've all been with those psychopaths. Imagine if they had a gun. Flipping heck. This show is still in the early stages of development, right? A long way to go before we get it to where I want it to. But every now and then, I get a little glimpse of what this show could be and will be like. And this first hour has been spot on. Spot on. It's a little glimpse into the future of what you lot have got coming. In a year's time, man, you're not going to recognise this show. And the competition are going to, LBC and BBC London and 5 Live, they're going to switch off at 10 o'clock. They're going to realise there's no point in them carrying on with their nonsense. If you want to give us a call, we've got no calls lined up, so now is an excellent time. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
In about 15 minutes, we'll play the David Icke interview. I think it's unlike any interview with Mr. Icke that you will have heard. Daniel, Luke, stay there. We'll come to you straight after 11. If you want to give a call now, will be a really good time, actually. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hang on. Sorry, I was going to play something, but that last clip from the defence for Oscar Pistorius. I'm sorry, Oscar. You stopped being a hero when you murdered your girlfriend. I mean, you kind of stopped being a hero when you stormed off at the Olympics when you lost, refused to shake the hand of the guy that beat you, and then went on Twitter to have a bitch, right? But any semblance, but you could still be perceived as, being an advocate for disability and equality and all that. But any remnants of heroism you had was when you murdered your girlfriend. And because he took off his prosthetic legs and he walked across the thing. And he's tiny. He's tiny in real life. You can't put him in prison. What's that? Hang on a minute. All his life, all his career, he has been campaigning for equality for disabled people. All right, mate, off to prison you go. That's quite equal, isn't it? Oh, hang on a second. So, equality for disabled people, but now you're being done for murder. You want to have things a little bit special for you. Is that that's what he's saying, isn't it? All my life I have campaigned for equality for disabled people, but now I'm going to prison for murder. I'm disabled and I don't want to go. I'll be so much smaller than everybody else in there. Flipping it, Oscar. I'm sorry, mate. You murdered her. Off you go. It's only 15 years anyway. It seems very, very, low to me. I can't go to prison because I'll be so much smaller than the other guys. In you go, Oscar. Bye-bye. Send a tweet about that, fella. Tonight's show, by the way, can we, Luke, Daniel?
Hello?
Who burped then? Someone was mid-burp.
Oh, no, I'm eating a chow mein.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Can we have a round of applause for Andrew Kay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Andrew Kay has just sent the best tweet of my life. Listen to this. After 22 years of listening to LBC, I've defected to Talk Radio. I'm sick of their soulless right-wing agenda. It's a real downer. Andrew Kay, tonight, this show is dedicated to you. Yes, we have so few listeners, guys. We can do that. Andrew, the show is yours. We're going to maybe annoy you a little bit because we've got a half-hour interview with David Icke coming up in about 10 minutes. But before that and after that, Andrew, The show's yours, baby. You're producing anything you want. You just tweet me. You tweet me, and we'll do it for you. How about that, Luke? Is that okay?
Yeah, sound.
What a nice. He's just replied. You're a top bloke. Thanks. He'll learn. But until then, Andrew, the show is yours. Luke, what you got for us, boss?
Yeah, just a quick one, mate. Number one, I have not seen that Puma lately, because I know you last spoke to you about it. You said you're going to come down.
Well, I didn't say... Where was the Puma that you saw?
It was not far from where I work.
Hang on, who's banging a saucepan now?
Certainly ain't me, I'm on a patrol.
Daniel?
Yes?
Are you banging a saucepan?
No, I'm eating chow mein.
You're eating chow mein as well as Luke?
No, I don't eat that.
Who's eating chow mein?
I'm eating a chow mein.
Luke?
It's brilliant, lovely.
What? Daniel's eating chow mein, but why is your chow mein made of ceramic?
No, that's the bowl.
Right.
There's lovely crispy bits on.
Okay, well, could you maybe be a little bit less... try and curb your enthusiasm. Series 9 of that coming out, guys. Could you try and curb your enthusiasm, Daniel, around the chow mein while I try and talk to Luke about his Puma?
All right, go on.
Thank you very much. Luke, away you go, sir. Apologies for
what it is, like I said when I spoke to you last time about the Puma, I've not seen it lately.
Yeah.
Because you said you're going to pop down.
Well, I don't...
All right.
I remember saying...
If you do come down, I'll get the bacon butties on.
Daniel.
Yeah?
Please, mate. Luke is talking about imaginary... he's talking about a Puma. Imaginary.
No. Go on to Leicestershire and Rutland Panther Watch. On the website.
Okay. But, Daniel, can you just button it, please?
I'm trying to eat a chow mein. You keep talking to me. I'm missing out on this chow mein.
You
talk to Darren or whatever it is.
It's Luke. His name's Luke.
Luke.
What's with the beef tonight, Daniel? Is it beef chow mein?
No, it's chicken chow mein.
Luke.
It's beautiful.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you don't believe me? Go on to Leicestershire and Rutland Panther Watch on the website.
Yeah.
It'll be all on there.
Just ignore him, Luke. Ignore him. We'll carry on. Yes.
And the second one is...
Yes.
How much would it cost me to get your autograph and your producer's autograph? Because she is one stunning, very beautiful lady.
Which producer? Look, Catherine, here.
Yes.
It will cost you £50, £45 for mine and £5 for her.
Reduce to that.
Hey.
Because I've sent you both a Twitter message anyway earlier on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it as creepy as that last sentence you said?
Yeah, very funny.
Oh,
no, just read it and you will have to reply, both of you, to my messages.
Okay, well I can't see them, but I will certainly look out for them. Luke, stay there. Daniel, what have you called in for, chow mein boy?
I've been watching Chicken Fish Boy.
Yes.
I've just seen your Richard Herring thing.
Oh yeah, what do you reckon? Any good?
I thought it was brilliant.
I had to ask him to take a bit out.
What did you take out?
I'm not going to say. There was, perhaps me being oversensitive, but we were at the start of it, we were vaguely critical of a show that I do that pays quite well, and I felt bad about it. I defended it, but Richard was a little bit critical of it, and I had to say, look, I'm really sorry, can we take that out, because I don't want to upset my bosses. No, I don't want to upset those losers. But
Channel 4.
Well, it was on a channel, yes, I can certainly say that much. But you thought it was okay, did you, the old Richard Herring thing?
I did. I thought it was very funny.
Okay.
I've got a couple of questions. Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course you can, Danny. It's all right, isn't it, Luke, if he asks us a couple of questions?
Oh, yes. Fire away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Luke.
Yes.
The microphones.
Yes. What?
Why are they flat at the top?
So?
You know, they seem to be flat at the top.
These ones in the studio?
No, the ones at Richard Herring.
Oh, that is an excellent question, right? It's your standard holding mic that your Frank Sinatras would sing, and they all have a little dent in at the top, and I don't know if that's deliberate or accidental. So, I don't know.
I was imagining that everybody drops their microphones on and they get a...
I would never drop a microphone. I would never drop a microphone because they do break very easily. But I don't know. It's a good question, Daniel. Next.
The bottled water.
Yes.
By the end of the programme, isn't it just warm and rank?
I mean, I prefer it cold, but yes. The worst thing is when you leave a bottle of water in your car for 3 days and you're thirsty and you drink it. That's bad. That's bad news.
I did that with the chicken soup.
There we go. Oh, no. Does that answer your question, Daniel?
I've got 3 more.
Oh, flip it.
Hold on to them.
Right, Luke, can I say goodbye to you?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you, mate. What a nice man.
Cheers, Luke.
Bonkers, but nice. The thing is, because we've got Phil Effing Green on now.
Who?
Phil Effing Green.
Hello.
Phil Effing Green.
Hello. It's flipping Phil Green here.
Right.
I want a word with you.
I
want a word with you.
Steady. That was a bit close. Steady.
I've heard you've been looking
double dump, don't worry.
I've heard you've been looking at me, Lee.
Yes.
I'm afraid you're making me very uncomfortable.
I'm sorry to look at you.
You're making me very uncomfortable.
Sorry, Sir Phil Effing Green.
Stop looking at me.
I'm not looking at you, sir.
Stop looking at me.
Stopped.
I tell you where you're going to have to look, mate.
Yes.
You're going to have to look over your shoulder.
What?
Have a look over your shoulder. Keep an eye out behind you. Because I'm going to be driving my yacht right up your King Harris, son.
Thank you very much indeed. There we go. Of course, King Harris, was one of the often overlooked kings from Egypt. King Harris. Daniel, you can ask me one more question, then we've got to take a break.
You've got a beard now. Yeah?
Yeah, I've got a beard now. Yeah.
It's a beautiful beard. I like it.
Thank you.
Tom Selleck had a beard in Friends.
He had it. What, in Friends?
A moustache. He had a moustache in Friends.
Right.
And he used a little comb to keep it straight. Do you use a little comb to keep your beard
straight? I do. I've got a comb in the car. I've got 2 because I lost one. I had to go and buy one on Tuesday. Bought it in Asda in Golders Green for £1. And then I found the other comb again. So yeah, when I'm driving, if you'll see me combing my beard because I like to comb it. But if I'm I can make it really big and bushy. I've discovered. If I do this, right? Are you watching on Periscope?
No.
Look at my big bushy beard now. Look, you see? Look at that. Look at that, big and bushy. So I do that sometimes. So yeah, I have great fun with it.
But I can get one from, where was it you were saying, Asda?
Yeah, have you got a beard, Daniel?
Well, I'm trying to grow one.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so don't call up for a bit. We're going to play the interview I recorded with David Icke earlier on today. I was dead nervous about meeting him, and I shouldn't have been. He was lovely. Absolutely charming. I'd watched loads of interviews with him like that day, and I watched some before Christmas when I thought he was coming on then, and he pulled out. We really struggled to get him on. Kath was talking to his son, and we were going to get him, then he pulled out. We were going to get him, and he pulled out, and then he stopped replying to our text. And I sent him a text this week saying, look, here's the thing. We're not going to get him on and take the pee. Not going to ask him about lizard people. I'm not interested in any of that stuff. I want to know about David Icke the man. It sounds like a cliche, doesn't it? But it's true. I want to know about David Icke the man. I want to know what he is like. So hopefully this will be an interview that you won't have heard with him before. Some of you watched it on Periscope, and thank you for that. But for those of you who missed it, here's me talking to David Icke. It's nice to meet you.
You too.
I'm so relieved, because I was quite nervous about meeting you.
Why is that?
Because I bought into how you're perceived in the press.
All right.
I bought that.
He's a loony.
Well, I knew you were. I didn't think you were a loony. I just, in a lot of your interviews, you come across as quite stern. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell
just come a little bit closer to the mic. Sorry, because it's not the best. There we go.
I tell you why that comes across, and if you see my, video cast that I put out on my website and social media every week, you'll see that I don't come across like that.
Yeah.
But you see, what you permanently doing is basically you're going into a defensive mode in a way, because people are always trying to take the piss, and they're always trying to make you look an idiot. So if you like, you're on your guard, and that means you concentrate. Whereas if we have a chat now, we can have a chat, and we don't have to get into that to and fro kind of stuff that means I've got to be on my guard, and my real personality is just put on hold a bit.
And it was interesting because I met you downstairs, and I don't know what I was expecting, but you were nothing like I had conjured up in my head. Do you know what I mean? That kind of you. Look, you're smiling now. You got a naughty smile about you, and I've not seen that before.
Oh, really? Stick around.
I don't want this to be. I don't want this interview to be one of those where we kind of argue about beliefs and take, and it's not a take the piss. There's no catch or anything. I'm really interested in you, David.
Right.
As a human being, right? And I want to talk. We were talking before we came in here about that interview, the Wogan interview. The 25th anniversary. You were telling me.
Yeah, just passed.
It was 1991. I watched it today. It was really uncomfortable watching. And I probably laughed. At the time I would have been 18. And I laughed at the time. I was one of those people laughing. Watching it now, 25 years later, as an adult, as a parent, as, different, we're living in a different world. I felt really uncomfortable watching it. Really uncomfortable. It felt mean-spirited. How did it feel for you when you were sat there?
Well, it was mean-spirited, but you see, people have a real problem when something is happening that's so different to what they're used to.
Yeah.
And often they'll just ridicule it almost as a defense mechanism, like, what's going on? What's happened to this bloke? And some just ridicule because that's who they are. But you see, I see it in a totally different light. I mean, we haven't got time now because it would take a long time to explain, but there was a sequence of events that happened in my life which basically blew my head off. And for about 3 months, I didn't know what day it was, what planet I was on, or where I was. And that's when the Wogan show happened.
Did you say that you'd had a breakdown?
No, I had a breakthrough.
Right, okay.
If you imagine, you like most people, you live your life in a bubble of reality, and you have certain senses of normal, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, someone come along and burst that bubble. And suddenly, everything you perceive to be normal and real went into a state of flux and transformation. And it's like information, concepts, insights were pouring into my conscious mind. And I've described it as like, when you press too many keys on a computer and it can't process the information, it freezes. So basically, that was me for 3 months. It was almost exactly 3 months. And in the middle was the Wogan show. And it wasn't quite, wake up one morning, but it was close to it. The computer unfroze, if you like.
And you turned it off and on again.
And then people were saying to me, who knew me, they're saying, Dave, I thought you'd gone mad. You're the same bloke I used to know. I was outwardly.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the way I saw the world. I saw the world completely different. I saw things that I didn't see before. And that's what set me on this journey of uncovering information, the nature of reality, the nature of how the world's manipulated by forces that are not the ones we see.
The stuff you said in the interview as well, it wasn't that far, it wasn't that crazy. I mean, there are a couple of things that could be argued you're wrong. You said that Saddam Hussein was dead when potentially he wasn't. You may disagree with that. But I was watching it, and it's a 16-minute long interview. It's quite a long interview. And, what you were saying about the number of kids that die every minute from diseases that are curable, does that sound like a world that's being run in a positive?
No, the world's a madhouse. I mean, it is. These kind of pennies started to drop. I started to see the world in a completely different way, and I realised it was a complete madhouse, completely bonkers. But if you're brought up in a madhouse, a crazy place, and all you've ever known is the crazy place, the crazy is your perception of normal. And what happened to me when this morphed out of the frozen mode, if you like, is I could see the world for what it was, completely bonkers and upside down and inverted. But because it's what people have known all their lives, it's normal. If you look through history, people who have been ahead of their time because they've seen beyond the normal of the moment, of the time, they're the ones that have been ridiculed, dismissed, burned at the stake.
Well, you mentioned the people saying that the world was round.
Yeah.
People would laugh at them as lunatics.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just a quick throwaway line for what it's worth. A few weeks after I said that about Saddam Hussein, the Sunday Times ran a front page exclusive about all the Saddam Hussein lookalikes.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And when Saddam Hussein is supposed to have swum across the river to show he was fit and alive, that actually was a lookalike, according to the Sunday Times. So, the thing is that the world is so not like we think it is, both in the nature of the reality we think we're experiencing, and also in the nature of geopolitical events, that it's much better to hold your fire and not be too dogmatic on this is how it is, because history shows that almost every time that this is how it is of the moment turns out to be that this is how it's something else a bit further down the line.
You mentioned an interesting thing. There was a second interview with Wogan, wasn't there? A few years later,
yeah.
Where they kind of looked back on that. And I watched that as well. And you mentioned something that actually we've kind of been discussing on the show from time to time. It may have been when I can't remember exactly what the context was, but you said people are more interested in who shot Phil Mitchell than what's going on in the real world. And I'm starting to notice that the newspapers are full of X Factor and Kim Kardashian and not looking at. Journalists aren't finding out stories. The VIP paedophile ring, well, that seems to have gone away because there's a new series of X Factor. And
of course, we've had an update on that today with Clement Freud.
Isn't that incredible? Yes.
You see, back in the mid 90s, I started coming across people who were telling me about this Westminster paedophile ring. I talked to a lady who had worked for the intelligence services, who was telling me about the paedophile ring in North Wales, right? I actually met her up in Anglesey, actually. And the information was gathering. And I actually named Ted Heath in a book called The Biggest Secret in 1998, and others. And, of course, it was so much later, after the ITV documentary on Savile, that bingo, the bubble burst. And what's happened...
Well, did it? It's not quite burst, though. I think that bubble still kind of...
Yeah, well, this is the point I was just going to make. What's happened is that there was basically a lot of information came out very, very quickly after that Savile documentary and all the other names that came out. And then you could see, I was watching it, and I was saying on my website, this is what's going to happen. You could see the response to that building, and suddenly certain people in the media and certain newspapers were trashing it, the idea of a Westminster paedophile ring, and they were throwing it in the long grass with inquiries that weren't going to report for years, which is the classic way of throwing it away. But it won't go away, and I'll tell you why it won't go away. If people think what's come out so far is massive, well, strap in, because it is colossal, and more will come out. It will come down in the end, because there is a Westminster paedophile ring, and not only was it operating during the Thatcher administration, it's operating now, and it will come out. But they're desperately trying to stop it doing so.
Do you ever, David? Do you ever feel like you're pissing in the wind? Do you know what I mean? That you're saying this stuff, and you get big audiences, huge audiences, and huge numbers of people buy the book. But there are still a significant number of people who think, "Oh, he's nuts." Oh, I used to like him when he was doing the football and the snooker. And do you know what I mean? And that you're not being taken as seriously as perhaps you would like to by a large group of people.
The thing is, that's not my problem. That's their problem. And I'll tell you something. When I started out 26 years ago now, 25 since the Wogan show, I couldn't fill a phone box. I mean, you know, if I couldn't walk down any street in Britain without being laughed at by person after person. Going into a pub or a bar, forget it. There was uproar. I remember speaking once, because, you know, I must be crazy, because at the height of that, I went on a speaking tour of student unions.
I went to one of those shows.
Did you?
I was there, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I went to one in Nottingham, and I walked out, and it was uproar, and plastic beer glasses were coming on the stage and stuff like that, and I went out there and I couldn't speak for a while because there was so much noise, and I let it die down, and then I said, "You think I'm mad, don't you? You think I'm insane? Yeah, whoa," all that stuff, and I let it die down again, and I said, "So what does that say about you? Because you're paying to ridicule a man you think is mentally ill, right?" And there was silence. But what that gave me was enormous strength to speak my truth, no matter what the situation was. But going on to the point that you brought up, in those days, trying to get anyone to look at any of this stuff in any serious way was virtually impossible. There's this alternative media that's built up through the internet. Didn't exist then. You know, I had to go around Australia in the back of a little car, not flights, back of a little car, all over Australia, speaking to people. I went across America, speaking to people like 8 people and stuff like that to start with. And you build it up, and gradually you start to make an impact. And I noticed a big increase in interest after 9/11, and a big increase after weapons of mass destruction weren't found in Iraq. And so I can see where you're coming from when you say there's so many people that are not listening. But I tell you what, I'm in frickin' dreamland compared with 25, 26 years ago. And I've seen the not just in Britain, but globally, the number of people who are opening their minds to things and concepts and information they would have dismissed by reflex action before. There is an awakening going on. Is it the majority? Is it as many as we would like? And when I say an awakening, I mean an awakening to question things you haven't questioned before. We take so much on face value. If there's one disease that is taking humanity's freedom away more powerfully than almost any other, it is naivety. You know, people say things as truisms. Everyone knows that. But then they ignore the fact that it's true. Like they'll say, you never believe what the politicians say, but they do. And then it's, you never believe what you read in the newspapers, but they do.
Yeah. Not me. I don't believe what's in the newspaper. I can tell what's made up and what's not. Everyone says that. Yeah. I'm more intelligent than everyone else. They won't trick me. But we do. We read the newspapers and we take it at face value.
Yeah, it's this naivety. And you know, if there's a bottom line of what I'm saying, it is, please think for yourself. It's like this this EU referendum. Instead of saying, well, what are the leave camp politicians saying, and what are the stay in camp politicians saying before I make my mind up, do your own research. Do your own research.
I want to go back to the Wogan interview. I read afterwards that your life was miserable afterwards, that your kids were being people were taking pictures of them and turning up at their school. Is that right?
Yeah, of course. That's what you get when you do things like that. But you see,
that must have been awful.
Well, it was awful. But I have this phrase. Life often gives you your greatest gifts, brilliantly disguised as your worst nightmare. I went through historic levels of ridicule, and it cleared me out of the prison that most people live in, which is the fear of what other people think. Most people are not living their lives as they wish to live them, are not speaking their truth as they would like to speak it. because they are in fear of what other people will say, whether it's their parents, whether it's their people at work, whatever. And so instead of living their life and their truth and their uniqueness, they're living someone else's version of what they should be. That mass ridicule cleared me out of that. And now I have a family, a daughter, my two sons, and, Gareth is a singer-songwriter. He'll be playing at the event at Brixton on Saturday. And they are rounded, confident people who have taken the gift of what they went through, and it's made them stronger, and it's made them bigger people. And everyone, my family went through it and came out stronger, bigger people, which they wouldn't have been without it.
When it was happening to your kids, though, did you not think, 'cause I'm a dad, I've got two little boys, did you not think, oh man, I should not have brought this... I'm responsible for what's happening to my kids.
Well, yeah, of course.
Maybe I should shut up.
Of course you think that, but you can't judge a journey by every step. You've got to see where the journey leads, and often you don't know where the journey's leading until you bloody get there. And as the years have passed, my family, certainly myself, have seen the benefits of going through that, those challenges, and they were seriously extreme, and coming out the people we are, not despite them, but because of them. And if people listening to this, a lot of people will, as they say, resonate with that, because they will look back at great experiences and challenges that they had, and they will see with hindsight the benefits that they got from it. So I look back at those times and that period of immense ridicule, not quite with affection, but not far off, because it's made me the person I am, and I am delighted to be who I am. So it was a gift, although in the experiencing of it, it was a bit of a nightmare.
Do you think part of if I've got this right as well, a lot of the ridicule was based on a misrepresentation of what you said? Have I got this right? You never said you were the son of God. You said you were the son of a Godhead.
Well, we're going back to what I said earlier. In that 3-month period, I didn't know where I was, because of what was happening to me. But
your dad had just died as well, hadn't he?
Well, yeah, about a year before.
Okay.
But what I'm saying now is in a way the same. When you look at reality, and it's just extraordinary how people are systematically kept from understanding the nature of reality we're experiencing. I'll give you an example. According to mainstream science, of what exists in this universe in mass and matter energy, the electromagnetic spectrum is only 0.005% of that. That's all. The only frequency band that we can see, the world we perceive, is a fraction of that 0.005% called visible light. Everything else outside of that, the virtual entirety of the universe, is invisible to us because we can't decode it into a visual reality. Another thing, if you take the Earth's size in comparison with the size of the universe as mainstream science perceives it, the Earth is the equivalent of 1/1000th of a pinhead. So when you bring reality down to that, the idea that from that desperately laughable tiny frequency range on that laughably tiny planet by comparison with the universe, that we can just dismiss things, that can't be happening, that can't be happening, that can't be happening, is confirmation of the scale of perception programming that goes on. And when you look at quantum physics and all these other areas that are delving into the deep levels of reality, everything is an expression of everything else. It's like an ocean. If you imagine an ocean and you've got the white tops of the waves. They look different to the ocean, but they're still part of the ocean. And so you have a name, and I have a name. We have a life story, and we have a kind of human self-identity. But you are an expression of the same infinite sea of energy consciousness as I am. Thus, if you want to use the name, I don't, for this infinite field of consciousness, quote, God, then you are an expression of that. And I'm an expression of that. So we're all expressions of that. And this is something that has been talked about in ancient cultures all over the world through shamans and people like that. And now quantum physics is starting to increasingly confirm that that's the case. And if we only realized that we're all expressions of the same one consciousness, we might or we might find the good sense not to kick the crap out of each other, both verbally and literally, as we do in all these vehicles for dividing and ruling us. All these wars, all these conflicts, all these patterns of violence. We've lost an understanding of who we are. So I'm describing it in these terms now. What came out on the Wogan show was I'm a basically son of God. I'm an expression of God, if you like. But it's not a wording that I would use now.
Do you think part of the reaction to your transformation is because we were talking about sport when you came out? I'm not a sports fan, but I was really interested that you're still a fan of sport. I'm picking up from the little chap we had earlier on.
I have been supporting Leicester City since the 1950s, man. 1950s. I used to go to Filbert Street. I learned to be a goalkeeper by watching Gordon Banks in the early 1960s. So, I've seriously been interested in sport this season, I'll tell you.
It's interesting. Let me go back a bit, because you talk about the transformation and the gift you got after being on the Wogan show, and the public humiliation that was there. And I want to apologise, because I was one of the people at home laughing.
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter.
Thank you. But you'd had other big, maybe not quite as big, but other big setbacks and transformations before. The football career brought short because of the arthritis.
That's right.
And that kind of reset what you were and what you had to do. And is that when you went into TV presenting?
Yeah, you see, when I look back at my life, and I think a very large number of people listening to this programme will be able to see that in their own lives. We see things as random happenings, but when you look back, you can see patterns of what has happened to you and where it's led you as a result of what has happened to you. And so when I started going out on this, if you like, journey of research and uncovering all this stuff, I basically, my life before that had given me everything I needed to do it. One, when I was a kid, all I wanted to do was be a footballer. I became a footballer. And then the arthritis started. The arthritis started when I was 15 and a half. And I played my entire football career till the age of 21, when I couldn't do it anymore, with gathering arthritis.
Wow.
And when I played for Hereford United in the last 2 years, every morning going training was agony.
Really?
Till the joints were warmed up.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say anything to anybody, because if the club realised what was going on, then they'd have got another goalkeeper.
So you kept that to yourself?
Yeah, but I was with my family, of course. But I was playing well in the games. The adrenaline got me through them, and so when you go through an experience like that, and then you have your dream just trashed because you can't play anymore. It's a bit like another version of the Wogan show. You either go under and you feel sorry for yourself, or you get up and get on with it. And what then happened is, when I was a kid, I was very interested in journalism. I was always reading the papers, and so when my football career ended, I thought journalism. So I went into journalism, and I started on a newspaper called the Leicester Advertiser, which was just about read by the people that wrote it. Because I had no qualifications. I left school at 15 to be a footballer. So when they said, what degree, what university did you go to? I was like, well, I was on loan for 3 months at Oxford United. Does that work? Actually, when Ron Atkinson was club captain, funnily enough, that's how old I am. And anyway, so I went into journalism, and that taught me a lot about the media, and it taught me to write in a way that you could take apparently complex things and put them in simple language.
Yeah.
So that was a great gift that had given me. Then I went into radio, like talk radio here.
What station? You at?
BRMB
in Birmingham.
Yeah. I'll never forget. Used to park your car across. It was in the. You remember the Golden Shot? You're too young.
I've heard
Bob Monkhouse
of it. Yes, my grandparents.
Well, it came from the ATV building in Birmingham, which BRMB took over, and there was a car park across the road. Actually, it was just a wasteland. And used to come in, and there was the HP Sauce Factory, and there was the Ansell's Brewery, and that combination, especially if you had a few the previous night, was a nightmare. Yeah. Walking across that car park. But so I went into radio, and then I went into the BBC in Birmingham regional, and then onto Newsnight, and then onto the BBC sports department, which gave me a media profile. So when I came out with what I did, it wasn't going to be ignored. And of course, during that period, I also became a national spokesman for the Green Party, which allowed me to see politics from the inside. So all these things that I'd done in my life up to the point where my head blew off were absolutely essential background for what I've done ever since. And so I see my life as in its entirety, not as a series of random happenings.
I used to work in TV. Every now and then I do, but you've got a brilliant quote for you about TV workers. They're insincere, shallow, and vicious, with rare exceptions. Yeah, I'd go along with that. It's a cold place, TV, isn't it?
Well,
it really
they used to say when I was at the BBC, they get so confused at the BBC, they stab each other in the chest. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable, and it's like politics. You know, when I've been to Westminster over the years, and when I look at that and look at the BBC, these institutions are looking inward; they're not looking outward. Yeah. That's why they're so irrelevant to the general population overwhelmingly.
The John Ronson interview. That was, how long ago was that? 15 years?
When would that be? About 2001, 2002.
Yeah, 15 years ago. It's on YouTube. Again, I watched it when we were trying to get you on the show. How do you feel about that? John followed you around for a while. And
in Canada, yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about
that was one of the big jumps, the big leaps in interest at what I did. So I'm very glad I did it. Because, you know, when you're trying to get information out that won't normally get out there, you just have to take opportunities to get it into the public arena, and you know you're going to be ridiculed, you know you're going to be laughed at, you know you're going to be dismissed, but each time you do it, there are people watching who can see beyond it, and they get interested, and then you do it again, and you get more ridicule and more abuse, but there are a number of people watching that can see beyond it, and they get interested in what you're doing, and basically you're building and building and building it up. So when I'm going around the world now, and I'm talking in Romania, I mentioned before, in November, 2,000 tickets have gone for that already. I've never been in the country. And I'm going to Australia. I'm talking at Brixton in London on Saturday. I'm going across America, and all over Europe, doing in many countries simultaneous translated talks.
You're still doing 9-hour-long talks?
Yeah.
Oh man, come on! Come on, David.
No. Think this is an important point. We were talking before about how I was at the BBC when I saw the substance interview and the substance report disappearing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
by that you mean people would be on a show and they would talk 15, 20, 30 minutes.
You've got time to get information across, because so often something only makes sense when the backstory goes before it. Yeah. Without the backstory, just the headline, it can sound ludicrous. Give it the backstory and I see what you meant now. That basically disappeared. I saw it come in from America. It was called soundbite journalism then, because it was so short. And what I'm doing... See, we could have a chat, and if I was someone else who was basically relating to the system as it is, and we could have a short interview, and I could get things across, and people would understand what I was saying, because it's against the backdrop of everything they consider to be normal. So it fits. They don't need a backstory. What I'm doing is questioning and rewriting the whole entirety of normal, everything from geopolitical events to the nature of reality, all of it. And therefore, you have to start at A, and you have to build it through to Z, and you have to do it in a way where the next thing you introduce makes sense because of what's gone before. And that's why the talks are so long. I mean, I don't talk for 10 hours non-stop. There are breaks. There are breaks.
Oh, good. You let them go for a wee and stuff.
I do 4 sections. Right. And by the end, I mean, I talked on the Isle of Wight 2 weeks ago at the Medina Theatre, a kind of a warm-up to, because I didn't know, I had Libet, you see, so I didn't know how long it was going to be. Yeah. I could have been there at breakfast, so I had to do it once to see how the length was panning out. And there are 1,600 images and illustrations and everything that goes with it. And there were people there who came purely out of curiosity, because my family knew them. And you start with the world as it is, and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole. And because of the way it's put together, by the end of the day, you're so far in the rabbit hole that if you'd started with that, people are gone, this guy's crazy, I'm out of here. But because of what's gone before, they say, I see it now, I see what you mean. And so that's why I have to talk for so long.
Listen, we run out of time now. One of the beauties of doing this show at night is that we can play this whole interview.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it gives you a lot of time to breathe and kind of have, I think, slightly more interesting conversations. One final quick question. You said that you walked from your hotel most of the way here today. I just wondered what... if you got much of a reaction when you walk down the street, what people say.
That is such a good question, given my experience. What has happened 25 years on is that people are stopping me in the street to talk to me about what I'm doing in a serious, interested way. I started out in Holland Park Road. I got like 5 minutes up the road, and there's a delivery guy, courier guy on his motorbike, went past, turned in front of me to go past me, stops his bike, gets his helmet off, and walked a mile up the road with me, talking about the information. Wow. He then turned and went back for his bike, and a builder came across. And then I'm going into the park, and this group of people from Slovakia came over, right? And then I was getting in a cab because I was knackered by then to get here. And as I was getting in the cab, there's this young lad who came up, talking about it, right? Yeah. So what has happened in this quarter of a century has been in so many ways a transformation of the way so many people see me, because not least now they're actually taking the trouble to find out what I'm saying. But it is also... And I've seen this so clearly, I've almost been a barometer of it. It is also an expression of the fact that more and more people are now prepared to look outside the box to see if there's more to know than the box, or the postage stamp as I call it, is telling them. I got news for them. Almost everything you need to know is outside the postage stamp, is outside the box. And people are starting to realise that. And it's great for me. I mean, given what I've been through, it is dreamland for me. My life is so easy now compared with what it was before. Coping with the interest is the challenge rather than coping with the abuse.
The website, give the website a plug if people want to go and have
DavidIcke.com.
DavidIcke.com.
You'll find everything there.
Brixton on Saturday.
And I've just got a new book out called Phantom Self. And Phantom Self relates to the self-identity of name, ink and bracket, family history, which is not who we are. We are infinite awareness, a state of being aware. What we call our name, our life story, etc., our self-identity, human self-identity, is the experience that infinite awareness is currently having. And once you fall into the human self-identity as being who you are, you're immediately into limitation. Everything you look at is, I can't, it can't happen, that's impossible. When you get to the self-identity of I am infinite awareness, having that experience, everything becomes possible. And that's what's transformed my life, and is transforming more and more people as they begin to realize that they're far more than the system has told them they are.
So nice to meet you.
Great.
You're taller than I imagined as well. That's
all right.
And I'm glad that you get that reaction when you walk down the street now, because that must have been horrible. Thank you, David.
Different world. Real pleasure. Thank you very much.
And he was the nicest, sweetest man. He was a lot taller than I expected as well. He wasn't much shorter than me. I thought he'd be tiny. He was such a nice man. And do you know what? I built this interview up in my head. This is me live now, in 5 minutes to 12. I built the interview up in my head, and I'd got really nervous, and I'd watched a lot of videos around Christmas when I thought he was going to come on in January, and a lot of videos of him today, actually, in Costa in Uxbridge. Cafe Nero, if I'm being precise. And I was quite nervous about it, because in a lot of those interviews, particularly the Wogan ones, the second Wogan one, very stern face. It comes across as very angry, and I thought, am I going to get that guy? But no, when I went downstairs to meet him, hello, David, I'm Iain. Hello, mate. Thanks for asking me on. Really looking forward to this. Oh, beautiful. Right. Last hour of the show is coming up. Normal service is resumed. By normal service, I mean, for the last hour of the show, I sit here and I talk about stuff, and we will go through some of the papers, and you can call up and do whatever you want. Calls go straight to air. So there's no screening process. There's no prepping. You don't talk to the producer, Catherine or Ed or anyone. You just phone up, and when I see your line flashing, I will put you through live on air. There is a 7-second delay, 14 seconds actually, so don't swear and don't be libelous. Apart from that, anything goes. Don't dial just yet. Break coming up. I will tell you when to call.
Talk Radio.
Who's this? Someone's saying this is the most Alan Partridge show ever, and then quotes, "Are you banging a saucepan?" "No, I'm eating chow mein." That is high art, baby. You're listening to high art. No. You don't understand the show.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel
people think... What's buzzing? I love it when people think they've got the show by listening to 5 minutes of it. And they haven't got the show. And Hayley, and I won't call you a tit like you call me. You haven't got the show. You don't understand it. Now, I can't explain it to you, I'm afraid. You could call up, you won't. You could call up, you won't. 0844 499 1000. You can call up, dear listener. She won't. Sending text or not. I've just discovered this show. It's so Alan Partridge. It's so Alan Partridge. Oh, you see, ask someone if they were banging a pot and they were eating chow mein. It's so Alan Partridge. First of all, I'd say that as a great compliment, because Alan Partridge he's a genius, of course. But secondly, Haley, you don't understand it. You don't understand it. And I've said to her, you don't understand it. And, she said, I do understand the show, you tit. Ooh, Hayley, come on, play nice. Play nice, okay? It's one of the rules. Try and play nice. It's basically mid-morning matters and no one listens to it. I replied, you did. Ha ha ha. Because my friend texted me to tell me it sounds like Alan P. Then she's done an emoticon. She's arguing with me. Using an emoticon. You win, Hayley. You win, Hayley. You found out where the emoticon... Or is it an emoji? I don't know. What's the difference between an emoticon and emoji? Call me now! It's not a bad phone-in, actually. You win, Hayley. Fair play. You win. But you're still arguing with me on Twitter, and I'm getting paid a lot of money. So, I mean... right, 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome to. 7 pence a minute, plus access charges, significantly more from some mobiles. The way this bit of the show works, very, very simple, is normally, throughout the rest of the show, and for all other phone-in shows, you will phone up, you'll speak to the producer, you'll speak to the tech up, whoever it may be. They will ask you who you are, what you want to talk about, and then they will call you back. It's not how it works for this, between 12 and 1, Mondays to Fridays. I sit here and I kind of look through the papers and talk about stuff. And you call in and you make funny noises, or you play bits of music, or you argue with me. If you want to talk about the David Icke interview, you're more than welcome to. 0844 499 1000. Some nights we get loads of calls. Some nights we don't get that many calls at all. But I have a screen in front of me. I've got 10 lines on it that people can phone in, 2 lines that we can phone out on. And when I see a number flashing, I hit the button and say, line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Just want to say, Ian, I love the show, mate. Goldstein and Cundy are going to be quaking in their boots because talk radio's where it's at.
Here's the thing, right? So, bless you for that. I appreciate that, right? I like both those gentlemen. I say hello to Jason. I don't particularly...
They're good lads.
They're good, and it's a really good show they do. They're on TalkSport now. If you want to go and listen to them, you're more than welcome to, right? And I have a little bit of banter with Jason. He was teasing me because I didn't know anything about the football today. And Andy Goldstein, we talked to quite a lot, although he's not come over for a bit, but he normally comes and sits with us for a bit and he has a chat. Here's the thing, right? I am so happy to talk about their show on this show because I think they're brilliant and I don't perceive them as competition at all. They will never mention this show on theirs. They will never retweet anything that we are both mentioned in. And it's because, and I said, Andy kind of mentioned it. He says, because I'm scared. He said, I can't afford to lose any listeners to you. He's got something like 300,000 listeners. We've probably got about 68 listeners versus 350,000 listeners. And he's scared that we're gonna take his listeners away from him.
As you say, Ian, you've got Saggers on before Goldstein and Cundy, and they're great shows, great broadcasters. But this is just it's horses for courses, you know what I mean? And Ash and Johnny Gold before you, it's a great show, and I particularly enjoyed Jonathan's contribution tonight.
Wasn't he angry?
He was contradicting himself every sentence he made. He contradicted the previous one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a bit odd.
It was not a well thought out argument, but it was a great phone in for late night radio. Listen, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to line 2. 2, you're on the wireless.
Yes, do you know what? I've just rung
Hang on a second. We don't start a conversation with yes.
Oh, what do we say then?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, my name is whatever your name is. I don't know what your name is, caller.
Ella.
Well, Ella. Hello, my name is Ella, and I would like to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about.
Nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you too. Yeah.
So I said I just rang LBC by mistake, actually.
Oh.
Yes.
What happened there?
They've got this new automated voice, I think.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, and then I just hung up because I didn't expect that.
But hang on a minute, why have you got... Why are you dialing LBC?
Mistake. I said by mistake.
You said by mistake?
Yes, by mistake, definitely by
Here's
mistake.
the question that nobody has got yet.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Paul McCartney... I mean, so you can link two very big stories there to Paul McCartney today. What are they? What are they?
What is in the news, is he?
Well, one of the stories is in the news. The other one he's linked to. What are they?
Right. Oh, I didn't listen to any news at all.
It wasn't mentioned in any of the news broadcasts that I've heard on this station.
But at all, nothing at all.
The news in general.
Silence.
For God's sakes, man.
I listened to silence today. Hello? Silence?
Yeah, silence. Silence.
Silence. Oh oui, le pain quotidien.
Oh, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Le pain quotidien.
Do you know what it means?
La is the.
Yeah.
Pan is bread.
Pain.
Bread.
Pain.
Pain, bread. Quotidian means the number of.
Quotidien.
Yeah, it's the number of. The number of breads.
No, daily.
The bread. Okay, the bread number thereofs.
And I was so chuffed when it came to England.
Sorry?
You see, because it hails from Belgium. It was like, oh my God, look at that, pain quotidien.
Yeah. Hey, Hayley's still listening. I always feel weird, right? When there's someone who's listening who's having a pop. By mentioning her, am I feeding her ego? Yeah, probably. But I always find it interesting, Katia, that there's a famous quote from who's the guy in America? Howard Stern. The people that like him listen to him for an hour. The people that hate him listen to him for 2 hours. And this young lady, Hayley, has been tweeting throughout the show this evening and is listening. And if she's, as David Icke said, right, people laughed at him, right, but it set him free. And some people listen to the message. If people are listening to the show and laughing at it in a mean-spirited way, which she is, that's fine by me. That's another listener. That's another tick in the box for me. I do well out of it. I don't care why people are listening. They can listen because they hate me, because they think the show's funny, it's clever, it's stupid. They think it sounds like Alan Partridge. Beautiful, man. Whatever. Everybody's welcome, and the more listeners, whatever the reason, is wonderful. And what's interesting is the people that criticise. They won't phone up, Katia. They won't phone up. And that, I think, kind of sums them up, really. So that'd be the last mention for it. There we go. I think that's enough of that. Katia, anything else, or should I cut you off?
Well...
There we go. Excellent stuff. 0844 499 1000. Okay, 0844 499 1000. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hi, Ian.
Hello, mate.
I've got a topic for the late hour.
Do you know which two stories you could link to Paul McCartney today?
Well, he's paying tribute to the Orlando shootings in Berlin.
Apart from that one.
I've got no idea.
I'll tell you one of them, right? The guitarist from Wings, Henry McCulloch, died yesterday.
I remember now. I read something about that on his website.
So that's one story with Paul McCartney. There's another story, a bigger story, right, that you could link Paul McCartney to. But what is the story?
I've really got no idea, Ian.
Okay, well, keep listening, guys.
I've got another topic for you.
Yeah, go on then, mate.
Best retro computer game of all time.
Elite on the BBC Micro, the disc version, not the cassette version.
I would have to disagree with you.
Well, you'd be
I would
wrong.
say Legend of Zelda on the NES.
You're wrong.
What's wrong with Zelda?
No, I'm not. I didn't say anything was wrong with Zelda. I just said you're wrong.
Well, let's because I like to hear people's opinions.
All right. Yes. Do you know what, Alan? That's an excellent idea. Let's get people's opinions on it. But the thing is, I've played the game that you're talking about.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. You've not played the game that I'm talking about.
Well,
So I'm more
going to remember it.
I'm more qualified to discuss this matter than you are.
And you news on the Game Workshop trip yet?
Oh, yeah, we were going to go yesterday, and I couldn't be asked.
Oh, you chickened out.
There was no chickening out. My boys have been invited to Games Workshop to go and paint some models, and it's basically they try and, you go and paint models for a bit, and then they teach you the game, and they try and sell you the game, and that's fine. No, we will go, I think I've got them 3 days next week, so we'll go one night next week after school. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
And treat into a pizza afterwards.
Sorry?
Treat into a Pizza Express.
Are you paying? Because Pizza Express is nice, but it's Pizza Expensive, it should be called.
I prefer Pizza Hut anyway.
Pizza Hut, yeah, but I'm quite posh, so I couldn't go to Pizza Hut.
No, have you ever had the buffet there?
Yeah, the all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah.
We used to go, do they still do that? We used to go and we
Yeah,
were
they still
students.
do it.
16 portions of pizza I had once. Me and Darren Black, loads of us had pizza off. Me, Darren, Stephen Connon. Stephen Connon were out early doors, like 6-7 pieces. 16 pieces I got to, Darren only got to 14. Bring it on.
Did you have the breadsticks as well?
No, I didn't have, of course you don't have the breadsticks, and you don't drink much. That's where you go, that's where you come across, but don't drink much. And I think we had some portions of pasta as well, actually.
Yeah, the pasta's good.
Yeah, pasta's good.
I love the cheesy pasta.
I'm gonna, maybe Hayley's right, maybe this is Alan Partridge in that case. I'm gonna get some food on the way home, Alan. I'm gonna stop off at there's a lovely little petrol station that's open, and I'm gonna buy some food from it.
You can't go wrong with a 24-hour garage.
You cannot go wrong, indeed. Oh, maybe Hayley was right. The other, 0844 499 1000. Paul McCartney's linked big time to a big story that's broken today. Big story. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, and come straight to it. So I have, because I was, about a year ago, I was looking into renting an office, right? Because I thought it'd be nice. I've got like an office at home. It's a room with the computer in, right? But it's got all my toys in as well. All my monkeys' toys and things and records and stuff. So it's very easy to get distracted in there. And I thought, wouldn't it be good to rent like an office? And in my head, I kind of had this romantic, Spike Milligan had an office above a greengrocer's. Him, Eric Sykes, and maybe Barry Crowe as well. They had an office above a greengrocer's, like in the 50s, so they would go and write the Goon Show and all that stuff they were writing. And in my head, I kind of had this romantic notion of, when I tweeted it, that like a greengrocer would get in touch. So there's a room above the shop, you can use that. Of course they didn't, and he said all I had were people getting in touch with me recommending Regis. You've seen the Regis offices, I mean, they do. Hang on a second, line. Yes, line one.
Hi Ian, you alright?
Yeah, good.
It's Hayley.
Now, come on now. Let's not be mean.
You've been trolling me on Twitter?
Oh, come on now. Let's not. All right, well, I feel uncomfortable, but yes, apologies, Hayley, if you think I've been trolling you.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm only listening because my friend told me to. Okay. And it's quite funny because it's just like watching Alan Partridge.
Well, which is a good thing, isn't it? Alan Partridge is good, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Well, there you go, you see.
I don't really know what I'm complaining about.
Shall we shake hands and be friends?
Ian, I apologise.
Hayley, I apologise. Peace and love. Peace out. Peace and love. We both went for it. But it didn't happen. I couldn't find, an office above a greengrocer's, so it never happened. But I like the act of leaving the house to go to work. I can't sit at home and write stuff, but if I leave the house to go to work, then I can write stuff, right? So I have found a free office. It's Cafe Nero. I've become one of those tossers that sits in Cafe Nero with a cup of coffee for 4 hours, plugged into their sockets. You can plug into their sockets. I had 2 coffees today, very naughty. I'm off caffeine, but I've had a couple of coffees in the last week. And I had one today, and the reason I had 2 is because I forgot that I was in a Nero and not a Costa. And in Costa, you get regular and large. So I say small for regular. In Nero, you get small, regular, and large. And the small was so small, I had to have another one. At the end of it, I was shaking. I had to shake. So I won't have one tomorrow. But 0844 499 1000. But I've become one of those arses that is in Cafe Nero, sat there with my laptop open, get a sandwich, get a slice of cheesecake, tiny coffee, and I'll sit there for 4 hours on the Wi-Fi. It's good Wi-Fi, except if you go to some websites, it won't let you access them. Not those ones! You can actually access those ones. But sometimes there's too many redirects, so you can't go to the thing. But it got me thinking, right, that there are so many people in there. Here's the thing. I've seen people go in there and not even order a drink, and they just go and sit down and get their laptop up, and they bring their own food and drinks in. Now, I saw some people doing that yesterday. That can't be right. These trainee baristas surely need to have a word with the people that are just rocking up with their own food and drink, a bottle of water and a packet of crisps using the Wi-Fi. Now, I might be cheeky, and I might use the Wi-Fi on my phone outside, but I wouldn't go in and sit down and use the Wi-Fi and not order a drink. I get so much work done in there, though. I sit there and I kind of check my emails and check the Facebook, all the important stuff. I put the headphones on, pretend I'm listening to stuff, but I'm not. That's another thing. 0844 499 1000, by the way. And, oh, look, you say that, and then a phone call pops up. Yes, line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hello, this is Paul McCartney. Now, a little birdie tells me you've been talking about me, Paul McCartney, on your little radio show.
Sounds like Jimmy Savile.
No, I'm Paul McCartney.
Okay, yes, Paul.
Yes, Paul McCartney.
Yes. Now then, Paul. Now then, Paul McCartney. What is going on with you? What is going on with you, Paul McCartney, young man?
I would like to know what you have been saying about me.
Now you sound like
Paul
Frank
McCartney.
Sidebottom. Oh, yes, boss.
Well, why are you talking about me, Paul McCartney, on your radio show?
Well, first off, Paul, I'm really sorry that Henry McCulloch, the lead guitarist from Wings, has passed away. That's very sad news.
Oh?
The second thing is, you are linked to another quite unpleasant news story today, Paul, and I was just wondering if anybody could work out what it was.
Oh, no. I've got to go. I've got to talk to my lawyers.
Okay, bye-bye. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
To the top to what we use on stage, but very, very special because if you can see, the numbers all go to 11. Look,
turn it up.
11, most of 11, amps go up to 10. Exactly. Does that mean it's louder?
It's one louder.
One louder. It's not 10. You see, most blokes are going to be playing at 10. You're on 10 here, all the way up, all the way up. You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there?
Nowhere.
Where? I don't know. Nowhere, exactly. What we do is if we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do? Put it up to 11, exactly.
Thank you for that. Could have done with a little bit of that. Of course, there's a bit from Spinal Tap, which is just... I've told you before, there's an 8-hour version of Spinal Tap, which I had on bootleg VHS. It was spread over 3 cassettes, and I bought it from a pornographer in Miami. And it was wonderful, wonderful stuff. I wonder if that's got to be on YouTube somewhere, hasn't it? They've got to release that. There are about 3 different Spinal Tap DVDs out. And they all have different bonus footage. That's the thing. So there's the Criterion Collection, which has got the most bonus footage. But then there's another, like the anniversary release or something, and that's got different bonus footage. I love Spinal Tap so much. It's odd that nothing else they did was ever as good. A Mighty Wind was good. That was where they're the folk group, the Thamesmen. Was it? No, not the Thamesmen. That was early Spinal Tap. What was the Mighty Wind? The name of the group in that? Maybe they were. No, I can't. Anyway, I can't remember. They supported Spinal Tap when I saw them, and that was a good film. They did a folk version of. I tell you what, let's have a break. I'll see if I can find this song. Hang on.
If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop. If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop. I've been running hard, you got me ticking, gonna blow my top. If you start me up, if you start me up, I'll never stop. You make a grown man cry. You make a grown man cry. You make a grown man cry.
Red out the oil, the gasoline. I walk smooth. She's a mean machine.
If you start it up, kick on the starter, give it all you got. I can't compete with the riders in the other heat. If you rough it up, if you like it, you can slide it up. Slide it up. You make a grown man cry. Don't make a grown man cry. Don't make a grown man cry.
My eyes dilate, my lips go green, my hands are greasy. She's a mean machine.
If you start me up, baby, start me up, I'll never stop. If you start me up, baby, start me up, I'll never stop. I've been running hard, you got me ticking, gonna blow my top. If you start me up, baby, start me up, I'll never stop. You make a dead man come.
I think that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Forgot it went there. Forgot it went there. That's... Do you like that, Kath? That's from the soundtrack to A Mighty Wind, and it's basically Spinal Tap, the Folksmen, of course. And it's a good film, but it's not as good as Spinal Tap, but it's good fun, actually. I'll play another song from the soundtrack before the end of the show, because they're good songs. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Every morning I wake up with that feeling. It's killing me, and every evening there's the same thing I keep on dreaming again. It follows me wherever I go.
Well, it's Brian Wilson.
All right.
Is it Brian Wilson?
Yeah, from the Paley sessions.
Oh! You couldn't burn those on a DVD and send them to me, could you?
Sorry?
You couldn't... I mean, of course you couldn't burn that onto a CD and send it to me, could you? Because that would be out of order.
Of course, I absolutely could not email that.
Thank you very much indeed. That would be awful. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing, Ian?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I have a big question, actually. Well, it's not that big. antidepressants are you on?
I'm on citalopram and mirtazapine.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I started yesterday on something.
Sertraline?
No.
Effexor?
No.
That's a drug.
Psychobab?
Psychobab? Hang on, what?
Yeah. No, I wish it was a kebab. I wish I could have a cheeky kebab every morning.
That would be good, wouldn't it? I don't know that one.
No, do you know what? I'll find the box and I'll ring you back.
How
tomorrow.
you? Well, it's only day one, so I'm guessing you're probably not feeling anything yet, are you? Or is it giving you the squits?
It's quite edgy, really edgy, really just like ready to go. And then I've got these. I can't remember the name of the other ones, but they're there to calm me down.
Yeah.
Just until things kick in.
Well, listen, I can't give you any medical advice. All I can do is share my my experiences with you. It is very common for these things to take 3, 4, 5 weeks before you kind of reach a level playing field, one way or the other.
Yeah. It's a long process. It is going to be a long process.
Yes, it's a marathon, not a sprint, man. How do you get on with your doctor? You got a good relationship with your doctor, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a legend. He's a very nice guy, very understanding, actually.
Brilliant. That's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah. A long-time listener, first-time call.
Well, listen, let us know how it goes, man. I wish you the very best of luck. Well done for going and trying to get, help and stuff.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
See you later on. Ta-ta. Bye-bye. I'll wait for it. He'll give you the squits when you first start. Some of them do. I told you this before as well, that the potential side effect of many antidepressants may cause suicidal thoughts. It's true. There was one drug, and I can't think what it was, which is probably for the best, where there was a massive spike of with teenagers. It had a real effect, and loads of them were killing themselves in America. I can't think what it was, which is good. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. So, yeah, Cafe Nero. So, and I for some reason, the Wi-Fi there is better than any of the other establishments. So I find myself sat in a little corner, and I've done more writing. Well, I wrote 2 articles in the last, what day is it? Wednesday? 4 days by sitting in Cafe Nero. I've written 2 articles for Record Collector. I say written. This is the Tommy James interview and the John Sebastian interview from here, which I've kind of tarted up and kicked into 6,000 words between the two of them, though. You can't argue with that. Wrote 3 chapters of the book as well, line 1. Excellent. Hello, line 1.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Clement Freud.
Sorry?
Paul McCartney?
Yes? Oh, yeah, go on.
Yeah, Band on the Run.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Clement Freud is, of course, on the cover of the Band on the Run LP. Does that mean we've got to burn more Beatles LPs?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, flipping heck. It's a Band on the Run.
First-time caller I am, first-time caller.
Well, darling, you've won £1 million. That's not bad going for a first-time call, is it?
That's good.
Do you like Band on the Run, the album?
It's all right.
I like some of the songs. I think Band on the Run is a masterpiece, the song. I think the rest of the album, I can't remember what else is on the album. What else is on there?
Isn't Jet on there?
Is Jet on there? Because that's a great record. Partridge, thank you.
Isn't Kenny Lynch on the album?
Kenny Lynch is on the front cover. It's a weird mix of stars, right?
It is a weird mix, yeah.
Kenny Lynch, Clement Freud, Michael Parkinson, Christopher Lee, and James Coburn.
And all just in black, aren't they?
They are a band on the run. But the rest of it, I think, is, Jet's on there. Let Me Roll, it's a good song. Let Me Roll. Hell on Wheels is a good song, actually.
Ram's a better album.
Ram is a much better album. And what was the instrumental version of Ram that Paul McCartney released under a pseudonym?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, Thrillington by Percy Thrills Thrillington. Check that one out. Check that one out. Line 2, you're on the wireless. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, mate.
I just thought I'd give you a call because I'm feeling a bit miserable.
What's wrong, man?
I'm just having a bad time, so I thought I'd just say hello.
Anything in particular? Anything in particular, or just feel like rubbish?
relationship.
Oh, man.
Coming to an end and stuff.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. How long have you been together?
For about 5 years.
Oh, flipping out. It's a long time, man, isn't it? You're bound to feel miserable.
Yeah. So, yeah, just trying to get over it for the last couple of months, but it's my birthday the weekend, so...
Flipping it. Oh, well, what, the weekend coming?
Yeah.
Don't tell me how old you're going to be. I'm going to guess. You're going to be 33.
Oh, 32.
Oh, I'm good, aren't I? Every time, Kath is amazed at how good I am at that. I'm good at that. But I'm a year out, and that's annoying. What you got planned?
Nothing. That's the thing. So I've literally just moved to Liverpool as well.
What did you do that for, you lunatic?
For work. So I thought I'd try and throw myself into work and kind of get into the swing of things. But so I've got no furniture or nothing at the moment either. So.
Oh, mate!
I've been watching TV on my phone.
Oh, mate! No wonder you're miserable.
Sleeping bag for a bed.
What? You in a flat? You got a flat?
No, a house. It's cheap up here, so.
I suppose so. Have you moved from London?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
then you're rich.
In a one-bed flat.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a 3-bed house with a garage for the same price.
Isn't it funny? Because Liverpool, I like Liverpool. I've never really done much Liverpool. I've been up there for filming for a day, and I went and visited a friend up there, but it was like middle of the night around Christmas because I was doing a gig up near there. But Liverpool's all right, isn't it? It's a nice place.
Everywhere has its bad areas, don't it?
Yeah, of course. I'm going up to Liverpool, actually. I'm taking a night off in August. I can't remember the date. I'm going to the Cavern. It's not the original Cavern.
No.
I'm going to go to the Cavern and see one of the Monkeys doing a concert in the Cavern. How cool is that going to be?
That is cool.
That's going to be cool.
I keep spending a lot of money on iTunes because you keep playing these songs, and I keep actually downloading them.
Well, I'm going to end the show with a song that you're going to want to download, "A Mighty Wind" by the cast of "A Mighty Wind." It's a great one. It's a great one. What sort of stuff do you normally listen to then? If you weren't indulging my musical fantasies, what sort of stuff do you listen to?
Generally, kind of 80s stuff or indie rock kind of things.
I am. Can I recommend a book? Right, and I love this book. And I'm holding it up to the periscopers now. It's by a bloke called Luke Haynes, and it's called Bad Vibes, Britpop and My Part in Its Downfall. It's in the 90s, right? And he was in this band called the Auteurs that were kind of what you might call also-rans. They were touted for greatness, and they had a few minor hits, but they got, swamped by Pulp and Oasis and Blur. And it is. I've never read such an honest book. And let me read a bit. Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to bleep myself. Here we go. On the final day of mixing, I decide to walk the 2 miles or so from my Camden home to Rack Studios. Big mistake. Is that figure in the snorkel jacket who I think it is? I make to cross the road, but it's too late. The flipper has clocked me. Oh, Christ, he's getting closer. Keep your head down. Maybe it'll pass without incident. No flipping chance. The snorkel jacket bears down on me. All right, pal, says Noel Gallagher, now embracing me like some lost brother. I didn't get the chance to tell you last time we met. Last time. Oh, dear God. The nightmare memories of Sweden briefly flood back. I didn't get the chance to tell you, but you've got some top tunes. Cheers, I splutter back in a clumsy attempt to reciprocate Noel's matiness. Oh dear, it's so disappointing when one's enemies don't turn out to be complete crumbs after all. It's such a good book! It's such a good book!
What happened in Sweden?
In Sweden, he shoots... Oasis and another band, not Cooler Shaker. Oh, the Verve are drunk in a fountain singing like Rule Britannia or something. He's got a flare gun and he fires it at them in the middle of the night. That's what he does. He fires a flare gun. Oh, it's a good book. It's very sweary. I don't know what your take is on swearing.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay.
Get that Bad Vibes, Luke Haynes. That's my recommendation. That's my birthday present to you is telling you to go and buy a book. How's about them apples?
Okay, I'll go and buy that on my birthday.
Nice one. I've got to go because I'm late for a break. Thanks for calling, man. Take care. See you later on. Ta-ta. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
It's Cymbalta.
It's what?
Cymbalta.
Is that your name? Tim Bolter?
No.
Oh, that's the drug!
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying, Zambuca. I thought I'm Tim Bolter. I don't know that one. My suggestion is stick with the advice that your doctor gives. My experience is, whenever I've started a new drug, it's been a little bit rocky for the first few weeks. And I've got a brilliant doctor, and I've gone and said, and they've tinkered around with the dosage a little bit, and sometimes, so just stay close to your doctor and let them know how you're feeling is my suggestion. I think we lost you, but I think you got that. Excellent. Thank you. Good luck with that, man. Well done. Line 2. Oh, blimey. Hello.
Hi. I've worked out what was in Noel's special box.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
You know the one that cures depression, anxiety,
and tackles cancer.
Yes, tackles cancer.
Yeah.
You know what's in it?
Go on, mate.
I got hold of one.
Yeah.
£2.5 grand it was.
Yeah.
Opened it up.
Yeah.
2 sausage, 2 bacon, beans.
Yeah.
Hash browns.
Ooh.
Those funny little chopped potatoes.
Yeah.
Perfectly fried onions.
Oh.
Don't know why there was onions there, but there's mushrooms in there as well.
Yeah.
Bit of fried toast.
Yes.
Egg, really runny yolk. It was only a blooming full set breakfast, wasn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. That's what a full set breakfast is at last. Here's the thing, right? Not many places do bubble, and not many places do good bubble. Right? And one day your kids will say, "What was bubble, Daddy?" And it'll be treated the same way as when my grandparents would talk to me. My granddad, whenever we went to stay at my granddad's, or if he came to stay with us, Grandad Bill, kippers for breakfast. Kippers for breakfast. The house would absolutely stink. Imagine telling a kid now you should have smoked fish for breakfast. That would never happen. Line 1, you're on the wireless.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Father Christmas here, Ian.
Oh, hello, mate.
All right, how's it going?
Yeah. You sound a bit down in the dumps. What's wrong?
Oh, I've knackered, mate. I've been... Put it this way, we're coming up to sort of near Saturday night for me. If you think Christmas Eve night's kind of my week,
yeah,
then the rest of the year is my weekend.
Yeah. Okay,
so So I've been off my face since January, mate.
Wowzers.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I was listening to your little show.
Thank you, mate.
And I heard you... No problem. I thank you for broadcasting. And I heard you talking about Band on the Run, the album.
Yes.
My favourite song from that is 1985.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, actually, do you know what? It's not... Now I think on it, it is... Now, how does it go? Sing a bit, Father Christmas.
No one ever left alive in 1985 will ever do. That one.
Maybe.
You may be right, you may be fine, you may get love, but you won't get mine, but I got you.
Here we go. Hang on. Why do they put adverts on? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Let's try it. Maybe let's try it. Oh yeah.
And it ends the album. I think it's a fantastic ending.
Yeah. I do like McCartney. I'm going to weep like a baby when he dies. I'm going to weep like a baby.
I saw him live 6 years ago, and I never thought in a million years he'd do that song, but he did, and it was fantastic.
Recorded this song in... where did he record this album? Where was it? It was Africa somewhere, wasn't it?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
He got mugged. He got all the master tapes. He was walking down the street and he got mugged. Where was it? He's doing his coming up voice, isn't it? It's his coming up voice.
Yeah.
That's a good song, Coming Up.
Like a flower.
Coming up like a flower. Coming up.
You know, the first... sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
it was sounding very lovely. The first time I heard that song was on... no, thank you. Was on the Trigger Happy TV soundtrack.
Oh.
If you ever get a chance to listen to that, there was fantastic songs. It's how I got
I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it, though.
No, don't watch it, but get the soundtrack if you can.
I bet Trigger Happy has dated a lot worse than a lot of other programmes. The reason I didn't like Trigger Happy is because we were doing that stuff on the 11 o'clock show, and Dom Jolly was working on the 11 o'clock show, but not really doing a lot. And then we got told to stop doing that stuff, and we're like, why are you telling us to stop doing that stuff? It's funny. Yeah, we don't want you doing that stuff on the 11 o'clock show. And then suddenly this new programme started, Dom Jolly's Trigger Happy TV, and we went, oh, right, that's why they stopped us, because they had a new kid doing it.
Because he used to do the phone bit where he'd shout and he'd go, shout! He did that on, there was the Paramount Comedy Channel. He used to have little shorts.
Yeah, that's where Sasha started as well.
He did that. Oh, was it?
Sasha used to do Bruno, and I think he did Borat on those as well.
I never liked Ali G or that stuff very much.
Wowzers, Father Christmas, that's blasphemy. Line 2, you're on the wireless.
Good evening, Ian. It's Matt. How are you?
Hello, Matt. I'm fine, mate. What you got for us?
Just a quick question out of curiosity. Your top 3 Bare Naked Ladies albums.
Oh, mate, that is a real tough one to...
I was going to go tracks, but obviously, there's hundreds of those.
That is a tough one to throw at me at this time of the night, man. But okay, all right, we can do it. In reverse order, I need to Google them, because I can't remember all the names of them, because you're right on the edge of my thinking. Right, in reverse order, it would be Bare Naked Ladies and Men, number 3.
Yeah.
No, sorry. No, which is the one that's got Tonight is the Night I Fell Asleep at the Wheel, about a guy getting killed in a car crash?
Yeah, that's...
is that Maroon or Stunt?
I think it's Maroon. It's not Stunt, it's Maroon.
Tonight is the Night I Fell Asleep at the Wheel. Right, so Maroon is at number 3. Bare Naked Ladies and Men is at number 2, and Maybe You Should Drive is number 1.
Maybe You Should Drive is number 1.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
I wasn't, no. Going back to Tonight is the Night I Fell Asleep at the Wheel, I actually won a signed CD, I think it was All in Good Time, that album, when you were on the old Absolute show.
Did you really?
And that's the last time I spoke to you, actually.
Man, they were.
So funnily enough...
I think that song is about Ed Robertson's brother, I think, dying in a car crash. I think it is. I need to...
Off the top of my head, I thought he died in a... motorbike.
Well, yeah, but
I may be wrong.
No, I think you're right. It was a motorbike accident, but I think that he, he transposed it for the song to.
I think you could be absolutely right.
Crash,
yeah, that makes more sense.
Blimey, it's a good album. Right, I've got to go because I'm going to play a song from A Mighty Wind to end the show. Very quickly, what your top 3?
Top 3, I would go Maroon at number 3. I would go with Bare Naked Ladies and Men at 2. And number 1, I would go... Do you know what? Silverball, the latest one, is awesome, so I'd go with that.
Really? I'm enjoying it. And that's what's on in my car at the moment, but I would disagree. Hey, listen, man, thank you. That was a lovely call to end on. And this is a lovely song to end on.
As I travel down the back roads of this home I love so much, every carpenter and cowboy, every lame man on a crush, they're all talking about a feeling, about a taste that's in the air. They're all talking about this mighty wind that's blowing everywhere. Oh, a mighty wind's a-blowing, it's kicking up the sand, it's blowing out a message to every woman, child and man. Yes, a mighty wind's a-blowing, across the land and across the sea. It's blowing peace and freedom, it's blowing equality.
From a lighthouse in Bar Harbor to a bridge called Golden Gates,
from a trawler down in Shreveport to the shore of one great lake,
there's a star on the horizon and it's burning like a flare. It's lighting up this mighty wind that's blowing everywhere.
Oh, a mighty wind's a-blowing, it's kicking up the sand, it's blowing out a message to every woman, child and man. Yes, a mighty wind's a-blowing, across the land and across the sea. It's blowing peace and freedom, it's blowing equality.
When the blind man sees the picture, when the deaf man hears the word, when the fisherman stops fishing, when the hunter spares the herd, we'll still hear the wondrous story of a world where people care. The story of this mighty wind that's blowing everywhere.
Oh, a mighty wind's a-blowing, it's kicking up the sand, it's blowing out a message to every woman, child and man. Yes, a mighty wind's a-blowing, across the land and across the sea. It's blowing peace and freedom, it's blowing equality.
Talk Radio.
Join the Talk Nation.
Dial up and talk radio.
We'll get you talking.